coming at you live from CBT Studios in the heart of Roseville, California. I'm your host, Matt, and joined with me as always are my two co-hosts,
Roger and Andrew.
And today, a very special guest new to the podcast,
Tristan.
And this is the Cryptid vs. Cryptid podcast. Now play that wild in music. It's been 3 weeks since our last episode.
Yeah, time has definitely gone on.
Yeah, that's my bad. I got sick really bad last weekend when we were supposed to record it. I was losing my voice, so kind of need to shoot the podcast out another week before we were ready. But I think it kind of worked out a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, today's our mashup. We'll just get right into it. This is the...
Whoa. We got to thank the listeners.
Oh, that's right. God.
For the continued support.
It's been 3 weeks. Listen,
I
my
know.
brain deteriorates after 2 weeks.
Not only were you only on one episode, you're back on the podcast the last time. You had missed the episode before, so you were still refreshing last time. And now it's been a longer break than usual since the last episode.
And my IQ is literally 0, so this is not a good formula.
As we always do, a super thank you. As of recording the podcast right now, we're at 922 downloads before even uploading another episode.
Bro, we're so close. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got some ideas rolling around for the 1,000 episode download, or the 1,000 download special. So that'll be coming. It's going to be exciting. I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm excited, bro. I'm ready.
But yeah, so as always, thank you. We appreciate everything everybody does for us. We wouldn't be here or doing anything like this without everybody listening, including Tristan.
That's right, yeah.
Our second Patreon.
Yeah, that's right. Second patron. Screw you, Justin.
Hey,
whoa. That's not okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you, Justin. You got more money in it than I do.
All right. Now with that out of the way, let's hop into today. So we're doing the mashup. This season has finally come to an end.
Yes.
Yep, season aquatic.
Yeah, no, it's aquatic season. It's been
Final season.
Final season.
The final season of seasons like this. It's been a ride. Not the most enjoyable ride.
It's like that water ride. It's the first time you went on it, it was like, oh, that's kind of fun. And then now you've been on it like 7 times, and you're like, listen, get me off this fucking ride.
You're out of spare clothes, and you want to ride the other rides in the park, dude.
Yeah, it's like the 8-hour drive down to Los Angeles in the middle of summer in California.
Dude.
You're just done after like the first hour.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, there's 7 more of these?
Yeah. Moving forward, no more theme seasons.
Yeah.
It
was a cool pitch. It's no longer a cool pitch.
No, at the time I thought it was a good idea. I thought it'd help keep everything going at a good pace.
I feel like the problem with the theme seasons, though, is how many themes realistically do you have besides aquatic?
Listen, before aquatic happened, he had a few. Now that's not ever happening again.
I had like one other idea. We were going to do like flying cryptids, but that's off the chopping block.
How many more besides the He Who Shall Not Be Named are there, realistically
I
speaking?
can come up with 2 off my head.
Okay.
That would require another 6, so we're just not going to go there.
Yeah.
No, so this is done. We're going to be hopping into the regularly scheduled random cryptids as everybody likes, because obviously we haven't got as much interaction from the fans email-wise. Obviously that's a sign that this shouldn't happen again.
Yeah.
So it's simply not going to happen again.
It was a fun little experiment, but we're done.
Yeah. An experiment is
It shall stay. It shall stay.
The
And
hypothesis,
that's why like Goatman's experiment, so, you know.
the hypothesis has come in.
goat superpowers this time.
This doesn't work. Well, with our little tangent out of the way, as we always do in our one other recap, the attention gets drawn to our guests.
Yeah,
here.
it does. I'm nervous.
So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. You can't see it, but I'm blushing.
Oh yeah, that's either you're blushing because of the excitement or the heat.
Yeah, it's hot.
I'm already starting to feel it.
It's hot.
It's that first hour on the car ride.
Yeah, it's hot. It's not just because I'm in here, honestly.
Yeah, it's a collective.
Yeah.
But yeah, so give us everything.
Okay, well, in terms of stuff I want to say.
Anyway, hold up. This is Tristan,
Yes,
by the way.
this
We
is
haven't
me.
really formally introduced
Yes,
you.
you did.
Friend of ours, friend of the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
We know Tristan for a while.
That's
so.
right. Yeah, I'm the cool guy. Coolest guy in town, honestly. I don't know. I'm not as big into cryptids as the other guests like Devrin. Devrin knows a lot more about it than I do. I'm kind of just here to add some fun, other exciting, wacky angles to the battles. That's my whole reason for existing right now. I have listened to every episode of the podcast besides the special with the creepypasta one. So that's
Which-
I wasn't known.
Which
Surprisingly.
is included in this today.
Yeah.
Maybe, like,
Loosely.
Loosely, yeah. No, it's,
The
it's-
rake, if anything.
Yep. Yeah, because can the rake even swim?
I'm going to imagine not. He doesn't have much of a swimmer's body.
He's the one on the island on the map. But yeah, no, I mean, we're just here. We're here for some fun. We're here for some laughs. Some criticisms, I guess.
oh, yeah. Start
Nothing,
obvious.
nothing major. Like Devrin, man, he hated you guys, man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
no,
kidding.
it's all good.
No,
we love
um,
the criticism.
I
We,
feel-
like I
Throw it
told
out.
you before when you
Yep.
showed up, all criticism is appreciated unless it makes me cry.
Yep.
And then we stop and we cut
Yep.
and you're out.
And Matt-
And Matt cries for a little bit.
And they
then
come
I
back and
start
it's like,
crying.
all right, well, we're doing no guests on this mashup today.
So
No.
Tristan had to leave.
Yeah. Dude, he got sick, man. I don't know what to tell you. No, I feel like you guys have definitely improved since the first episode. Like, I was listening, and the quality, not even of like just like the microphone and the studio setup per se, it's more professional. Like the intro and the music, just the way you guys handle the cryptids is definitely a lot better. I feel like I didn't get to shine too much because of the aquatic theme. You know, I feel like when you go back more into where you are more comfortable instead of forcing yourself into something, I'm sure it'll be great. But that's the main one, really. I think you guys just forced yourself into something that you weren't really 100% about, and then you were committed.
I guess we're going back to the tangent.
Yep.
There was about 10 minutes of forethought going into this. That's, I mean, since we're opening it up a little bit, it's kind of how it is when we pick the cryptids. Which, don't worry, listeners, we have the next bracket of fights basically already done.
Yeah.
So that has got way more forethought because we're way more looking forward to it.
Yep.
But a lot of the times, I'm laying in bed,
Yep.
wake up, getting ready to go to work, and I'm like, fuck.
Yep.
The podcast, we got like 2 days. We have not picked the second cryptid yet.
Dude, yeah.
I
So
feel
it's-
like that was how the water ones were.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like with the other
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
we had them like planned out already. We were like, oh, 2 weeks in, now we know them, and then 2 days hits, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta fucking research on this.
Yep.
Yeah.
The shitty thing about the professionalism too is it's definitely picked up a lot more. It just picked up at the wrong fucking time.
I know,
Like
that's what I
it
was
picked
saying.
up. I wish it was there when we started.
Yep.
Because we dealt with some awesome cryptids.
Yeah.
Then we get the professionalism,
I
and
feel
we're
like-
dealing with the water cryptids, which we're just not all.
Yeah.
There's good ones, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about them.
I don't.
But we just weren't into it. Like
I
we
don't
were
want to get
the-
anyone's hopes up, but you could also look at like not like I know we do like these mashups where we bring everybody back, but maybe you could do like
You already threw it away.
like
He's already like, I'm
I'm
great at
committed,
this thing.
dude. Recurring guest character. No, but
Never say never.
Yep. But I feel like you could do like remastered episodes too, where instead of like just like you could be like, hey, we're doing a lot better now. We've hit our stride. Maybe we bring Bigfoot back. Go deeper into the lore than we did last time. Bring up new information, new sightings, and
I'll
put
say
it up-
this. I'll say this. That's not out of the picture, but that wouldn't be in the main line probably. And we also would probably do that a little bit later down the line.
Well, definitely later.
It's
I'm just
only
saying
been
you
6
don't
months.
you don't have to worry about like, oh, we threw like all the good guys out when we weren't really here. You could just like do something to where you can still deal with Bigfoot like when you're more comfortable with like the whole podcasting situation where you are like more efficient at it, where you now that you're doing a lot more research ahead of time to avoid another Megaconda versus Doarku situation.
The other he who shall not be named.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that's honestly it. I think you guys got a pretty cool situation going on. You do have listeners all over the world.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
always.
didn't expect it. When you guys had first told me you had a podcast, I was like, shut up, no way. And then when you were telling, like, when it was like, you were at like 200 total downloads, like, when I first started listening.
That was like episode 4 or something,
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think on the last episode you guys said you were like 700 something, and then now you're
Probably like
almost
750.
1,000.
720, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I like about looking at the stats because it's like every day it keeps going up.
Yeah.
And so for a while it'll stagnate. that's just how it is, you know. It's active with our active listeners who keep coming back.
Yeah.
Then we just slowly dwindle out, get a couple more.
It's because people are, they'll listen in once the new episode comes in, and then we get the trickle effect. Oh, someone's like, oh shit, a new episode came out or something like that, like 3 days later.
Yeah. So I don't understand how the downloads work either. Does it like when I listen on Spotify, I don't have to download it, do I? Or do I just have to listen to it? And
I'd love to tell you, but I have no fucking
idea. Because there is a download button, and I'm like, 1,000 people download this? That's so much space on your phone, but it could also just be how many people
I've got a hella downloaded songs on Spotify, so
Dude, I have like 60 gigabytes on my phone in total. I would not be able to have more than 2 episodes, I don't think. I don't know how big these are.
I'm not sure how it exactly works, because it's not just Spotify, it's many different
But the numbers go up.
If any listeners actually know, let us know, please, because we're small brain.
If you haven't downloaded the episode, then I recommend downloading the episode.
They are pretty small brain. I was sitting here throwing out ideas on how they could do stuff before the podcast started.
Okay, all right. Listen. We didn't bring you here to shame us.
Yeah, listen, I'm on the verge of tears.
Look, man, you said 2 minutes ago you would welcome any criticism, and I don't.
On the verge of tears.
But that's not crying, is it? I still got 5 minutes to talk here.
You're dropping from his eye.
Yeah.
Don't make me force it out.
Like all cloudy with chance of balls. It's like. Yeah, but that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. So I think we can start getting into the meat and potatoes of tonight's episode.
So this is usually where we hop into stats changes. It's been so long since we've recorded the podcast.
Yeah,
I actually forgot to charge my tablet.
Oh.
Luckily, I have everything synced to my phone.
Nice.
So we'll be able to cover everything on my phone.
Nice.
While I pull it up, you guys babble a little bit.
I know, I did have some stat changes I wanted to pose, but I forget who they were, and I forget what they were. So I'm going to have to wait for the
I don't have anything significant that I want to change about this.
All these ones I was kind of flat rate on. I was
I mean, we like you said, we got a little better. So we've gotten to some pretty deep depths on the stats already in the episodes themselves.
Yeah, no, we really honed down on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard to really make changes, and a lot of the time, a lot of changes come from listeners who have suggestions and stuff. But yeah, no, that was something I was thinking about going in. There's just not going to be. I don't foresee a lot of changes. We can bring them up.
Yeah, not a lot. Like 1 or 2 on like a couple of cryptids. That
probably not on par with the last.
100%. Yeah, you guys went 4 down on one of them or something like that.
Yeah,
There are a lot of changes.
Okay. The one thing that did change is that we did classes. Did we introduce classes this time?
Yep, the size classes were brought in.
So size classes are new.
But the only one that would have affected the size class was Megaconda, and you talked about that. Everybody else was around humanoid level.
Exactly.
So first we're starting off with Nessie. Characteristics, plesiosaur-like, 20 feet long. No abilities, stats, intelligence 6, power 6, defense 7, mobility 9, HP 7, stealth 8.
So the only ones that I'm interested in, can I see the phone real quick? Because I already
of course,
forgot
we'll
half
be
of
able to
those
pass
numbers.
it around.
He's like, I was listening, but I didn't hear
I
anything
might
you
be
said.
like 2 IQ points higher than these guys, but my memory sucks. Where do you get this 20-foot number from? Because from what I've heard about Nessie, I've always thought of it more like as a bigger creature than strictly 20. Because 20 feet's like the studio size, and that's not necessarily as big as I would imagine Nessie to be per se, right?
I mean, you guys can talk about it while I pull it up.
Because then again, I don't do cryptids, right? Like I said before, but Nessie's one I am pretty comfortable with. Like,
Nessie's
How
pretty
comfortable?
mainstream.
like I watched the Scooby-Doo movie.
Okay, all right.
Chill
Listen.
Look, man,
I did as much research as I can on Nessie because I couldn't find jack shit.
I did research on Nessie as well, pretty deep. All right, we got some lore about ancient tribes and stuff in
yeah,
there.
but like I don't know,
I think so,
I got some dumb stories.
because like you
We
mentioned
got the
like
firefighters.
because
and
you
all
mentioned
that,
like it's
yeah. We got some-
plesiosaur-like, but plesiosaurs were pretty big, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like
Well,
you talk about
it's light.
you
It's
touch
not a
about this
dinosaur.
too, where
only thing
creatures in the
about-
past get smaller as environments change, and that's understandable too. But whenever I imagine Nessie anyway, it's more like 40, like almost twice as big is kind of what you were describing, like from nose to end of tail, realistically speaking. But then again,
the only reason of plesiosaur-like is because it looks like that. It's, not
It's
that
more of a
it's-
shape-wise
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
than
It's not
anything.
the size.
yeah, and then I mean, I don't know, in terms of like, because that's right, it was the octopus. The octopus
Which will be next.
was the major one I wanted to talk about.
All right.
But
First,
I won't
we're on
get
Messi.
into it.
We're
I
on
won't
Messi.
get. I just had a brain epiphany, right? I think honestly, you said mobility 9.
Yep, mobility of 9.
This is in water.
Yeah,
by the way,
in water,
so
100%. I don't
I
know.
don't-
I almost feel
I don't
like.
think I really had to specify that. but-
Yeah, you can. He's just waddling around like a penguin or whatever.
It
Um,
can.
It can go on land, but that's
but-
the point of this.
Yeah, I
is-
saw that in the Scooby-Doo movie too, dude. Turns out it was just the van, and they had covered it with messy stuff.
All right, if you want to talk Scooby-Doo movies, we can. That's after hours
Yeah.
content that you have to sub to the Patreon for.
Yep. The
should
other
sub
thing
to the
though
Patreon.
is I almost feel like personally it's more like an 8 maybe. I feel like you were a little bit too.
Whoa! What's the reason for it being an 8?
I don't know. I just feel like a 9 is like almost a 10, and 10 is like peak mobility, right? And I feel like you're
But 9's not a 10.
but
That's
it's
the point.
almost the 10,
Yeah,
right?
because he
9
has
is that
very
it
high
has-
mobility in water.
9 is that it has been. How we do it is that it had never been. 10 was like never been spotted because.
But that's for stealth, right? That was for stealth. But like for mobility, right? Would that also
Well, that
factor
would
into
all-
mobility?
We also had it has flippers, and so that basically makes it like fly through the water.
I mean, yeah, but
And this thing's built for water.
a lot of the sightings that you keep mentioning that. I understand that it is an aquatic creature. It was in the aquatic season. But I don't know. A lot of the sightings that I've heard about, right? Like it'll like come up like there was one that I heard about where like they were on a fishing boat and like it like went up and like there was like the ripples in the water, but it was like almost like slow and it was more deliberate in its movements. It wasn't so much like speeding around, all zooming under the water, realistically speaking. But I don't know, man. Have we clocked it? How fast it is? Like picture
Well,
speed levels?
Researchers still can't tell if it even exists. So
Yeah, it doesn't have very good speed feats to go off of, so
Yeah,
we're
so
just
I don't know.
gonna-
I feel like a 9 is too generous. I wouldn't like. I'm not like you guys. I'm not like the host, so I don't have to deal with this consistently. But I feel like a 9 is just too generous movement wise. I feel like an 8.5
What's our best speed figure?
maybe, but
Speed feed? We got a land speed feed at most, because there was one reporting of a couple watching Nessie
Yep.
run across the road
Yep.
into the water.
but then we said
I
it would
mean,
be faster than that in water.
yeah, way faster.
But even then, I mean, like, because about 20 feet, that's what small whale, like an orca. Orcas aren't necessarily fast.
But orcas aren't built like a plesiosaur.
Right, but they still have the same fin structure. They have fins.
Do they?
I mean,
Are you scientifically sure that they have the same fin structure?
I'm about as scientifically sure as like the color of Bigfoot per se, because you don't know. But
So you just said you don't know. All right.
yeah,
So
but even then,
Okay, case closed.
it's got fins. It's got fins, and it's
I
around the
see what
same
you're saying.
structure, right?
I
And
see what you're
orcas
saying.
aren't fast. They're like
I don't know, what do
kind
you
of
guys think?
mobile, but.
I can buy into it.
Even then,
honestly.
though, if we leave it at 9, I doubt it'll change anything. I think the octopus still ended up like killing Nessie.
Yeah,
but-
fucking Nessie up.
Yeah, and a lot of what I was going to bring about the octopus was buffs too. So I feel like even then, it makes it worse.
No, I mean, I don't think it's going to change the outcome of the fight.
Yeah, no, realistically, I feel like
Just how about compared to other cryptids, though, it might change some things. So
because like
I'm fine with debuffing his speed.
yeah, because I feel like a 9 is just a little too generous. And again, I could be like way overtuning it. That's just how I feel.
Well, we were saying we didn't think we'd see any real stat changes. First one,
Yeah.
Nessie, debuffed.
Yeah, look at
Get fucked.
Yeah, screw you, Nessie.
So, here is the quote from the article where I got most of my research for Nessie from, justifying the 20 feet long. In 1933, the Loch Ness Monster's legend began to grow. At the time, a road adjacent to Loch Ness was finished, offering an unobstructed view of the lake. In April, a couple saw an enormous animal, which they compared to a dragon or prehistoric monster, and after it crossed their car's path, it disappeared into the water. The incident was reported in a Scottish newspaper, and numerous sightings followed. In December 1933, the Daily Mail commissioned Marmaduke Wetherall, a big game hunter, to locate the sea serpent. Along the lake's shores, he found large footprints that he believed belonged to a very powerful, soft-footed animal about 20 feet long. However, upon closer inspection, zoologists at the Natural History Museum determined that the tracks were identical and made with an umbrella stand or ashtray. That's where I got the 20 feet long. Obviously, didn't finish reading the paragraph, but...
I mean, I don't know. Like, 20 feet, maybe like an adolescent essay, but...
Well, I come to the conclusion justifying that with the fact that to survive in this habitat, thinking of it realistically,
Yeah,
it would have to be
if it was too
smaller.
big, yeah, it couldn't really fit in Loch Ness. I don't know how big it is, but I feel
It's
like
pretty
someone
big.
would see like 100-foot giant.
Yeah, no, if it's
serpent.
fucking giant, it's going to be hard to hide.
Yeah.
Even with the tunnels, the caverns underneath the lake that they talk about, it's still going to be difficult. Dying over there, Andrew?
No, my contact moved around.
All right. Well, we got our first change made. Are we ready to hop over there? Okay, so let's hop over to some Oklahoma octopus. Characteristics: horse-sized body, 20 feet long tentacles, 32 feet long altogether, suction cups with the strength of a 200-pound man, rubbery skin. Abilities: shooting ink. Stats: intelligence 7, power 8, defense 8, mobility 6, HP 7, stealth 5.
Okay. So the main thing I wanted to talk about the octopus is I was doing some looking around online about octopi or octopuses.
I figured that's where this is going.
But the thing is, some sources also use octopuses, which does not sound right whatsoever. But anyway, about like how a lot of octopi work, and apparently, I don't know if you guys found this in your research, but they have like 8 or 9 brains. I think it's 9 because they have a separate brain for every tentacle. It wouldn't really affect this at all, but it's kind of freaky. What would affect it though? Did you guys ever talk about like how it can like compress its size into a really small space? Like how it can go like through like a tube.
There were a lot of octopus facts that didn't get brought up, so probably not.
So I don't remember hearing it, but I thought of something. You know, like the whole like Ant-Man and Thanos argument about how.
Oh,
I was thinking about something similar with the octopus.
didn't think that's where this was going.
Right?
To be honest with you, I didn't even. That was out of left field.
Yeah.
I just.
Wow.
See, that's what I'm here for, though. Some wacky arguments.
No, yeah,
They could go down Nessie's throat and then just go, "Hey, what's up?" Dude?
Oh, that's where you're going with it.
I mean, shoot, the other one works too, but I don't know, like
You know
a
what?
30
That's
foot.
not as bad as I was thinking. We're good.
I mean, the shoot, dude, up the poop shoot works too, though. Whichever one would cause more damage, I'm sure is what the octopus is more concerned about. And then an intelligence of 7. I can agree with that. Yeah, honestly, a lot of the stats are fine. I just felt like a lot more characteristics for the octopus would have made it like more interesting because you could have like delved into more. Because like even if
some of them have
because there's another thing where they have like 3 hearts, right? 2 hearts dedicated to each of their gills, and then 1 heart controls the rest of the body. And the reason they crawl around on the ground a lot is because the one main heart gets tired easily. So that's why it crawls around. It can't swim a lot, but it can also expel like a jet stream of air to move really quickly, like a dash almost. And I feel like that might help his mobility a little bit because he has.
Is that a
6.
universal octopus feat?
Well, it's in a lot of them, yeah. Like the majority of octopi have that little. It functions similarly to their cloud of ink as like a get out of jail free card, where they like go and hide for a little bit, and then they can either stay away or come back and regroup. You know, and I feel like that would definitely help mobility wise.
All right, we'll throw it in there. Under abilities, I will throw in jet stream.
Look at that.
So how are we thinking that's going to affect mobility?
I don't know, at least a point up. Because like maybe a 7. Yeah, because it's not like an all around thing they can do all the time, but it definitely helps.
What's he at now? 5?
6.
7.
Oh,
Right
it's
now
7.
he's at 6.
Yeah, it would go to 7.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, speaking on octopus abilities, when we were recording the after hours for the episode after this one, it's going to take me a second to find it, but a buddy that I worked with was messaging me about octopi because he is super big into animals and stuff. Conversation starts with, they're absolutely the best animal when it comes to camouflage and mimicry. I'll skip all the stuff I say because he pretty much ignores everything I said.
Apparently they have really good vision too, like pretty scary good vision, especially for like an animal, you know, as opposed to humans.
My grandparents watched that whole My Octopus Teacher thing on Netflix, and they wouldn't stop talking about octopi. I'm like, bro.
So he brings up how they can see other colors we can't. And I was like, yeah, how would that affect the fight though? Like,
I mean, shoot, maybe
Dang,
it's like,
bro, you see that blurple?
yeah. maybe Nessie has like weak spots that like glow neon green, and we just can't see
Like
it.
a video game?
But the octopus can. You know, it's like it's got like a little like area that's like slightly like chafed under its left fin,
It's just
and if
painted
they
in
pull
some
on
weird
it,
color, like strike here if you want to
X,
instantly
bro,
kill.
like-
The other one that he did bring up was a regenerative ability.
yeah, like where it grows back like his arm, right, or whatever. I feel like I've heard of that, but I didn't confirm it in my research.
Probably, but I don't think in the matter of the fight,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be fast enough
Like
to
the
really
one,
affect it
the
at all.
argument that you guys made of the one tentacle gets him and the rest are basically there and he can do whatever he wants. That still stands no matter how many tentacles he loses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if he goes all Kraken style and just starts and just breaks him in half, dude.
Yeah.
And the only other thing of some kind of, I don't know, influence possibly would be that the ones that can't shoot ink or don't will use shells or seaweed as a way to hide or defend.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing with like the jet stream. When they get away, they'll go hide somewhere. Ooh, another thing that I wanted to bring up. It probably wouldn't affect the fight too much, but a lot of octopi have like a venomous trait to them, but only one is particularly dangerous to like humans in size relation. But the argument could be made that this is a special octopus and that it has like that venomous like bite or whatever. Again, we're still buffing the guy that won, but the argument could be made that
I think but we also left out the fact there was something that only, I forget what it was at this point, but there was something that we're like, oh, you know, octopi can do this, and then it was like, oh, but only some, and we're like, we'll leave it out.
yeah, because
we
it's
just made,
it would have to be a
generalizations.
subset of that particular octopus, right? Where they all have like venom, but only one is dangerous to an animal of equivalent or larger size. So
And
again,
this one had very little substantial research
Right, 'cause
on it.
especially
so that's
after you
why we
mentioned
kind of
the
had to
lost
just be
tapes
like,
and all
all
that.
right, you know, we referenced a little bit more real world.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
even
did
then,
any
though,
stories.
when you guys talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
cryptids, you mentioned, like, again, this gets into believability, but where a lot of them could be, like, offshoots or other variants of certain things, where Bigfoot's, like, the species in between man and monkey or whatever. Something like that, where it's, like, a freak thing. Then again, though, this is probably one of the least believable ones on the list, the giant octopus, because it's got, like, they're only in man-made lakes, you know, and...
Well, it's not even that it's a giant octopus. It's just like a normal octopus. It's just that it's in a lake that's not seawater.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So if
And
we,
also it wants to drown people.
Yeah.
are we taking in the shell defense?
It's not even
Or
like
leaving it
I
out.
feel like it's more like it would have to be there.
It'd be-
right?
yeah,
It would
There wouldn't
have-
be. There's no shells in lakes.
Exactly. So the only thing I could get behind is maybe like they use like the flora at the bottom, but I feel like that also tends to help Nessie, considering usually I think it's depicted with like a greenish, grayish color scheme, and it
Yeah.
might be able to blend into those too. So it wouldn't really matter per se whether one of them can hide in the plants or not.
No, I don't think so. With those two out of the way,
Wow, yeah, we start off, we're like, I don't think there's going to be that many shell. We already changed
Dude, man,
our
I got
first
some
two
ideas.
starting ones.
Yeah.
are we going in the order of episodes published or my notes?
Because
Because next will be Ningen. Just because Ningen
I don't
was
think we should.
pre-prepared
I don't
way
think we
before.
should. I don't think we should change Ningen. I think I was.
Let's
on the
go
same
now.
page
Let's
for
go on the
all
order
of
of episodes.
All right. Now we're at Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man.
Barnacle Boy. Hidden episode. You didn't listen to it.
Mermaid versus Gator Man. We'll start off with Gator Man. Characteristics: razor sharp claws, scales, alligator appearance, and razor sharp teeth. No abilities. Stats: intelligence 6, power 10, defense 8, mobility 7 in water, 5 on land, HP 6,
forgot you guys
stealth
did that.
6.
Okay, I actually feel pretty good about this one. Wasn't it decided that the mermaid wins more fights than the Gator Man
the
in
Gator
that
Man
that
does,
fight?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's because Gatorman has the
That weak
whole
spot,
weak
yeah,
spot
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel pretty good about Gator Man. I didn't think of anything else, honestly. It all looks
He's kind of
pretty
just a brute, you know.
Yeah,
he's a warrior.
good. Yeah, he's
Full
definitely
brute,
he's
big
definitely
weak spot.
tanky, but he forgot to put on his chest plate that day. He just wings it, you know.
I didn't think there'd be any changes. That one's really just cut and dry.
It was pretty cut and dry. I feel like I had like a little something with Mermaid, but if I hear it, I'll remember it if it was something major.
Then let's hop over to Mermaid. Characteristics: fishtail instead of legs, extraordinarily beautiful, razor sharp teeth, razor sharp claws, 8 to 9 feet. Alluring songs is the ability. Stats: Intelligence 10, the first Intelligence 10, Power 7, Defense 5, Mobility 9, HP 6, Stealth 5.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely like that intelligence 10 because they're like human level at the very least, and
At
I
the
think
very-
human 10 is kind of where it is on intelligence, right? You're basing it on that.
Yeah,
Whereas humans
10
everywhere-
is intelligence.
Whereas humans
if
everywhere
you-
else are like a 5 or so, with like middle of the pack if they're lucky.
Yeah, our scale.
I think
does
when I
use
was
that.
listening, I think Power 7 might have been a little overboard by like a point, maybe 2, if I wanted to really nerf her. Because like you mentioned, I think a lot of the power comes from like the tail, right? But in a lot of like depictions of mermaids and a lot of like speculation on how mermaids might have attacked, I don't think they ever really used the tail offensively. I think they mainly used it for mobility, which is great because the mobility is what, a 9? Yeah, that fits in perfectly for a water combatant. But I feel like power, they would mainly be attacking with like their claws, right, to try and break through, and they would mainly be using their arm strength, which in most depictions of mermaids, they're pretty effeminate women. They don't really have a lot of that upper body strength to use offensively. So I feel like that power is a little bit extreme. Like maybe a 6 at most is what I'm feeling.
What are you
Potentially
saying
a
about
5.
women, Tristan?
What in terms of
I'm
like?
dying over here. Oh, it's hilarious. You just keep talking, and Matt's eyes just keep on getting thinner. His smile keeps getting wider.
Look, man, it's basic scientific fact that like a typical average build woman, especially like compared to like other like what other power 7s are there on this list? Like, do you guys? Off the
You're
top of
asking
your
way
head-
too specific.
The person she's fighting is a power 10.
Right. But that's Gator, man, dude. That's like Bigfoot levels of strength, and Bigfoot's
It
like
is.
yoked, dude. He's jacked.
Yeah, that's why she's not 10.
But she's
7.
like 7. Like, I feel
She's
like
also fighting for her life.
She's also.
You say most depictions of mermaids. Most depictions of mermaids, they're just killing people by drowning them.
yeah, but that's also like realistically speaking, the force of the tail, mobility, right? They're pushing them down faster than a person could struggle and get up to the surface. That's how they're drowning. And since they can
You're
swim
just
so
providing
much
better
better
arguments for the tail.
for mobility, not for power, because
I
they're
mean,
not.
strength doesn't have to just, or
Yeah, so
power
what
doesn't
is-
have to specifically be offensive.
What is the main use for like power? What does it describe? Is it like physical strength? Is it combat ability?
Power
What
physical
is it?
strength.
Overall physical strength. Like how strong
Physical
this thing
strength.
can be.
I still
Weaponary
feel like
abilities.
a mermaid's physical strength is not a 7, maybe a 6, but I don't know about 7. Because I feel like a lot of your arguments for the power are in the tail.
And it's because the tail's a strong
It's
appendage.
strong for
It's a
mobility.
whole half of their
but
body.
I don't know. I feel like in terms of maybe I don't know when I
See, you got him guessing now.
It's not so much
That's what it's
guessing.
about. That's what it's about.
it's
And I mean, power doesn't just entail combat effectiveness.
that is true.
It's an all-around bodily strength. That's how we take it into effect. And mobility doesn't just have to be how fast do you run.
Yeah.
It's your ability to go
Maneuver
through
through
maneuver
Yeah,
areas,
and that's definitely
which
really
comes into a
environment.
big effect in our most recent episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean,
You're gonna have to have a really strong
I
argument.
would.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
Well,
thing.
I'm fighting you on this one because I think the 7's perfect.
you think the 7 is perfect for mermaid? I mean, because
Also, it doesn't specifically have to be a female mermaid either.
that is true, but I don't know, Mermaid Man not very strong either.
In his prime, he was. You see him, he's fucking, as you
He
said,
was also
yoked.
yoked.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm trying to imagine a mermaid versus like the average human, right? And the tail is definitely the deciding factor.
Well, average human for us was a 5.
Yes, and that's it. Like because like if we're taking
This thing also has claws
yes
and
but-
teeth.
And it also swims all day.
Yeah, definitely. The tail is definitely the only major hiccup for me in considering 7. Yeah,
I don't know why, because you're giving yourself arguments for it
that's what
being
I'm saying.
a 7.
That's what I'm
arguing
saying.
on
I think yeah. The tail, man. The darn tail. Yeah, I think sticking at 7 makes the most sense at this point.
There we
Alright,
go.
that's
We
what
just
you call-
argued in a circle.
That's what you
By
call
time.
gaslighting your guest.
Yep. I don't know, man.
All right, next person.
Yeah, dude. All right.
All right, well, that covers mermaid, man. Fuck, I almost said it again.
Mermaid Man, dude. We should have him.
I just
Mermaid
think
Man.
Gator Man, and I think Gator Man is the first name on my notes, but it's Mermaid.
Mermaid Man versus Squatch. I'd pay to see that. Special
That'd be
Patreon
interesting.
episode, Mermaid Man.
The yoke fight.
So next on the list of notes is Rake versus Tiki Toby. Do we want to brush over that real quick? Maybe get your thoughts on it real quick.
I did not listen to the podcast, so I'll
That's
need a
right.
refresher. I'll need a
Alright,
refresher.
we'll brush over it. Rake clapped Tiki
Rake
Toby.
kicked ass.
Get it?
It's
Basically-
Tiki Toby's a normal human, and Rake was, you know.
It's
an
not.
actual
He's like a demon spawn,
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
as to where
I
Tiki
feel like-
Toby is just a mentally unstable human, which ties into Slenderman lore
Yeah.
and a bunch of stuff like
I
that.
think Slenderman is like the heart of creepypasta in general, though. So I feel like no matter
Recently,
what you get
when
into,
it comes to more human people, human creepypastas, you can usually find him in the center.
Unless it's like Jeff the Killer and Jane the Killer and all the other
Yeah.
killer ripoff.
yeah, I'm
ones.
definitely not familiar with creepypasta. I know less about it than I do cryptids.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of exposure for creepypasta is just because of Slenderman, because of how
100%.
popular and culture he's become.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, that's enough about Slenderman and the show that hasn't actually talked about him yet.
Yeah.
And hopefully won't ever
Hopefully never.
talk about
Yeah,
him.
that's. I would not talk about it either.
But Rake, I mean, it was a pretty fun episode. It's our
it's a
second
solid
most popular episode this season. And I think Rake he's definitely one of my favorites. I can't say favorite cryptid because he's not, but when it comes to like monster-esque creatures
Yeah.
like that, Rake is like
It's also one
Rake's
of my
super
favorite
creepy.
creepypastas.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one more, but
just such interesting stories and stuff. And I never heard of the Toby guy before this.
Tiki
Still,
Toby.
Yeah,
no
dude.
offense to everybody that enjoys Tiki Toby and those kind of creepy pastas, but I just don't
Yeah,
care.
Tobey Maguire had on some pretty hard times recently, honestly.
He's coming back. He's coming back. New Spider-Man movie.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume since it was such a washout, no matter what we changed, the outcome wouldn't change. But
No.
and I don't know enough about either, especially Tobey Maguire, to do any changes to the stats.
Yeah.
I mean, Rake stats, he was our second intelligence 10, power 6, defense 4, mobility 8, HP 6, stealth 7.
Intelligence 10.
We
Yeah,
did.
because he's like a.
Because he
above-
invades your
he's
mind.
like- yeah.
Is he the one that
That's
haunts
right.
dreams or whatever? Or he like targets when you're sleeping or something? like
He
that?
targets you essentially and stays around you until you die.
Dang, that's trippy.
Honestly, looking at the stats, I could almost justify bumping him to a 7. Just because razor sharp claws, the frail looking body is a disadvantage.
I'm pretty
But he's
sure we
pretty
argued
powerful.
pretty heavily about this one. I think I was the one that was like, "Yeah, we'll do 6," and kept it at that.
Probably.
And I argued higher because, you know, this
Yeah.
thing deserved a 7, not a fucking 6.
Yeah, but then we got into the whole.
Was this for his
you know,
power?
he's
Actually,
super
I think
weak.
We're talking power
I
right
think
now.
you were a 6, I might have been an 8.
An 8 on power
maybe.
for the
It
scrawny
might have-
Lincoln looking dude? I don't know, man.
That
I think
was
I'm
my,
with. I
might
think
have
I'm
been like
with.
a 5 or something like that then
Because
like,
you wanted 8. What else has an 8 power? Realistically, like what else would you classify as an 8 power? Because that's like getting up there in numbers. That's like
No. Because what I remember as like a big power was 9 and 10. 9 and 10 were like.
yeah, but
big.
8's like good power. And does this thing like break bones? I feel like breaking bones is a
I like
minimum
this. I
requirement
like
for
this.
8.
Tristan's on my side about this.
So now you like me playing, semantics games over here. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you run this thing
Because
over
what
the
if
cards,
5 is
I'm
power?
back.
If a human is 5 power, is this thing really like halfway between a human and Bigfoot in power?
I think the claws could push it that way.
I still think that's a tech that only plays a little bit in. That's why he got the 6, because he's only got claws over humans.
Yeah. Do we have any feats of particular strength for the
Yeah,
rake?
you got a 7, not a 6. Come on.
Or
He said he wants to bump it up to a 7.
He does have a 6.
but like so like
Most
isn't the
feats-
main thing like him causing fear and him being like
Exactly.
scary?
That's the most-
Exactly.
I feel like you only do that if you're not strong. Like
I mean,
like all the serial killers.
Listen, if
who,
you
like,
saw this thing, when you see it, that's.
It's creepy,
It's
but
hard.
it's still like a twig, bro.
Dude,
I could
Built
pull
like
out.
me.
I could pull
Oh,
out
yeah?
the trump
Think you
card.
could kill it?
oh,
I said built
Well,
like
yeah,
me,
Trump
not that
card
I
guys
can
here,
kill
yeah.
it. Come on, it's got 6. I'm like a 3 on the scale.
I got my trump card always ready to fire.
Oh my
Supernatural
God.
strength.
We already threw in
Even
that trump
then-
card, and we still gave it a 6.
Even
Don't
then, the supernatural
Was that for
strength
this
is
one?
only
Yeah, this one
like
was when
with
we
Goat
started
Man.
doing Mr.
Goat Man's supernatural strength, right? Like
Okay,
whether
Goatman
Goatman
could literally
wasn't
easily.
supernatural strength.
that's what I'm saying, and you guys gave him a 9. Do you think the Rake is almost Goat Man?
With supernatural strength.
But
Yeah.
we don't have any feats.
And as I said, the Goatman was different because it fused those two together. It wasn't supernatural strength.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but I
didn't
mean,
go with the supernatural stuff.
Even then, though, I mean, I still don't feel like it's an 8.
No, it's
We're not
definitely
arguing
6.
for an 8.
We're arguing for 7.
Yeah.
7's a little bit more lenient, but I don't know. A
I
6.
still think it's 6. My argument at that time, I think, was that normally he'd be weaker than a human because he's so thin
Yes,
and scrawny.
that is a
but
very
then
good
he has the
point.
claws, and so
He
we
also
bumped him
has
up
the
to a
super-
6.
I mean, yes, so
He
do
also
people
has
who
the
don't take care of their
supernatural
nails. It doesn't make them
and
have
which
some
bumps him up
power.
to a 6.
A little
Jump
bit.
bumps him up to a 7 if the claws.
The claws were only
6.
realistically
Do-
1
do
point,
we
so I'm
have
sure
any-
the ethereal was
All
what
right.
pushed it up to a
Let's
6.
let's take it like a Corbin. Do we have a precedent where claws were the deciding factor in terms of giving an extra point?
No,
in
but
strength.
they tried
No
to push
clue.
this ethereal thing.
Yeah.
You tried to push the ethereal thing.
See, I feel
Which
like
is
And that was
why
a
we gave it a
defensive.
6.
That was a defensive
I
ability.
don't know.
Which is why we gave it a 6.
We're getting into it.
Something else.
We're
not this.
we're definitely
sure.
getting into a
For
different
Rake?
cryptid here.
Yeah.
It wasn't
For sure.
ethereal.
We can
That was
discuss.
supernatural.
the
Ethereal was to go
supernatural
through the
or
floor.
whatever.
That was for the different.
I feel like we
Get
can
out of here.
discuss
That
the
wasn't for the
ethereal
boss.
argument
That was
when
for
we
the
get
cryptid.
to the cryptid with the ethereal argument. We're talking about the Rake. It has nothing to do with any of this.
Honestly, I'm
Anyway,
way past my bedtime, so I'm just kind of mixing up cryptids right now.
Yeah, same.
I'm still in the boat of a 6 for strength.
I am too.
Because Andrew makes a very valid point. The homie is like a twig, dude.
Well, listen here. Andrew can suck my dick.
Oh, wow.
Look,
All
man.
right, pal.
Listen,
I'm
Andrew
sorry.
doesn't believe in this stuff. So
It's time to argue for an hour about how this thing should have a 4 in strength.
Yeah, I think he makes a good point though, because it's not like the strength of like. I feel like a normal dude could take this thing in a fight if it wanted to. I think
No.
it probably
No,
could.
no.
The
The
reason,
normal guy,
no,
the
it
reason,
normal guy tried
the
to fight
reason
it and
it
it
doesn't
ran.
is because it's creepy. Like I'm sitting there, like when I'm like at home and I'm watching like Forensic Files and I hear a noise, I tense up and I don't want to go fight something, even though I could probably take the dude breaking into my house. You know?
Okay.
Whoa.
Let's be,
Look, man, the
let's be
viewers
realistic.
can't
Because
see
the guy's
you, dude.
breaking into your house, he's probably
Look, man,
prepared for someone to
The
try to
viewers
fight
can't see me, dude. I'm like jacked, 300 pounds, pure
I get
muscle.
it. I get that. I understand that. But I still don't think if he comes in with a gun, any of your muscles.
But
gonna protect
that's
you.
the tech argument again. That's not him.
Okay, if we're taking base human,
Base human
base
5.
rake,
Not you. Base human.
we're not talking a 10 in power. We're talking base 5.
So base 5
they
human.
still wouldn't win.
They would win, and
No,
the
they
only
wouldn't.
thing
No,
that
they
lets them win is the claws, and that's why it's a 6. I am with Andrew on this one, 100%.
100%.
Listen, we're at just about 45 minutes, and we pretty much decided we weren't going to talk about this guy.
All right,
So we'll
well,
leave it a 6
we'll leave
and
it a
table
6.
this argument for the Patreon.
Yeah, we can do an after hours of this and talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, we could, because that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, let's move on to the magnum opus
Yes.
of this season.
I'm so
and
ready
talk
for this.
some Bunyip versus Loveland Frog.
Dude, Frogman.
Oh, man. Wait, now
We're
first
starting
gotta
off
talk
with the
about
Bunyip.
Bunyip.
We got to save the best for
All right,
last.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
So, the Bunyip, the Australian cryptid.
That's right.
Characteristics: varying length, tusks, lanky limbs, long, thick fur. Abilities: alter water level, crippling roar, hypnotism specifically for humans. Stats: intelligence 6, power 9, defense 8, mobility 6, HP 8, stealth 6.
Hey, homie stacked, dude.
Okay,
I
so
will
before we
say
jump
this.
into this, hold
Okay.
that thought. It is, what did we say? A morphine cryptid.
Yeah, so-
more than one form, and the one we went with was the typical, what is it, like horse's body, lanky limbs, dog kind of face, or is
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
a
How I
walrus
explained
body?
it was, if you've seen it, it's Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, like dog.
that
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I said.
100%.
Because that's what it looked
Devin
like
didn't
mostly.
like that, but I did. I appreciated that.
He's not a fan of anime, so
Yeah, when like the first time you described the bunyip, it was like the hippo one with like the brachiosaurus neck and the weirdo looking face. That's how it always looks to me. No matter what other one you described to me, I imagined a hippo going up against a frog with pants, dude, and that's the fight for me.
I think after...
Because you weren't on this episode.
Yeah,
so.
even after hearing like the list of abilities, Intelligence 6 seems a little low.
I mean, the arguments they made for that, though, is, like, I think with the one with, like, the boat, where they were on the boat and they, like, raised the water levels, there were probably a lot of other easier ways to handle that, and it chose the water one. I think that's where they got the intelligence of a 6 number from.
It doesn't have the statistically thinking brain.
And because...
That would be a 10, right?
There's also a story of the
critical...
fisherman that shot it. It just sat there. It wasn't really trying to hide or anything. It just kind of sat there and looked at it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's
I do
also
the same
varying,
thing,
right?
so
So, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's...
just got shot.
Yeah, it's probably not like when I heard you guys talking about the bunyip, I didn't imagine it as like an intelligent being like a mermaid would be or like Goatman is. It's more like just like a beast or like whatever form it wants to take. I feel like I don't know. I think Intelligence 6 is pretty fair for it because.
All right.
That's like what almost half human intelligence, smarter than a dog probably, but still around there. Like dolphin intelligence. I think.
Whoa, I think dolphins are like 9 or something.
Would you think a dolphin's? I don't know. Maybe an 8.
I'd consider dolphin an 8.
Yeah, dolphin 8.
Dolphins are a lot
Dolphins
more
are smart.
close
They're
to
very
humans.
smart.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I think like about a dog would be 5, 6. I think it's about as smart as a dog because it like knows what's bad. It knows like different people. It knows like different ways of handling things. It can be trained. It has that ability to remember things, but it's not like critically thinking.
All right. You convinced me. 6 is fine.
That was pretty easy.
Easier than me on that mermaid argument. And then yeah, I mean, again, it comes to the mobility. Like, what form does it take? Because if it's the hippo form, then that's probably not very mobile. But
We're
if it
going
takes
with
like
the
the little
hippo form.
dog form, then it probably is more mobile than the hippo.
Changing forms just complicates the
It
fight so
does.
much because it changes stats,
Yeah.
other abilities.
I feel like you
We
would
stick
have
with
to
the
set
form.
which one. Like you chose the Goatman origin story, and that helped things out.
Yep.
You would definitely have to pick which one is
I mean,
the
in
one
the
you're
most
going with.
in the most recent one, we kind of had to go with the one form because
Yep.
the other one didn't
Yep.
even stack up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think honestly everything's pretty good on it.
yeah.
I think you guys did a pretty good job.
Awesome. Let's hop into the main event.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Yeah.
some Loveland
Frogman,
Frogman.
dude.
Bro, my sorcerer out here.
He's the sorcerer supreme.
Yep.
Yes.
Dude, screw Dr. Strange, man.
Yeah,
Love
just
like
the
Frogman,
source of the
dude.
screen, You got clapped. Okay.
He pulled the Dormammu won't come to bargain, except Dormammu said no.
Except he didn't have the time stone this time.
Yeah.
He had his firework.
Yeah. I think when this,
He had a
this was
supposed
pretty
sparkler,
one-sided. And I think because you had mentioned it was pretty big, and it's like a little frog dude, and it was in the water, so his little sparkler wasn't going to work
Nope.
either. Star
I think we
Frogman.
put him into the
Should have had ice
swamp.
magic.
Yeah, we did, but the fur was wet, and it was such. The fur was a pretty
Yeah.
good defense when it came
Because
to
you can't
fur
even
this
set
time
like a
around.
slightly wet piece of wood on fire. Like,
Nope.
it has, and you have to, like, that's like real fire. It's not even sparks, like
Yeah.
his magic was.
So, characteristics: leathery skin, a 1.3 foot long tongue, magic wand as an item, loose fitting pants as an item,
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
webbed appendages, abilities: magic casting, specifically fire, stats: intelligence 9, power 7, defense 5, mobility 10, HP 4, stealth 8.
Okay.
Now, there is this god form where every stat is an 11, but we decided to go
That
with
was
the
just
normal
too stacked,
form.
dude. We had to balance it for Bunyip.
It would basically be like putting Shaggy into the fight.
Dude,
It just
oh
wouldn't be
my
fair.
God.
Even
bro.
1% of his
I would
power.
love to see that fight against Shaggy.
Dude.
This frog.
Shaggy
Oh my
that'd be
god,
close.
bro. That would be
That'd
enough
be
to rip the
scary
universe
close.
in half,
Yeah,
dude.
honestly. I don't know. I feel like because in the fight, you guys had mentioned that the main thing he would do is like try and like go and kick it, right? That was like his main weapon.
Well, I had a pretty good idea for how he could win, but nobody was buying
What
into it
was
too
that? I
much.
forget what that was.
Stick his wand up the butt of
Dude,
the
it's
bungee.
perfect! Yes!
It's the Ant-Man versus Thanos argument.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. I feel like
That was my fucking argument. 'Cause I brought up that it does
Oh,
what it
yeah.
does. It took out the fucking
Yeah.
essence from the.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, because he's got the mobility with those frog legs. The problem is, if we take a look at the stats of the bunyip, he was a pretty tanky individual with some thick fur, and that's hard if you don't like have a bladed weapon. Like Goatman probably would have had a way better shot than little frog homie.
Yeah, or just some really good strength.
Yeah.
Overall, is there anything though that you change?
In terms of changing, I doubt it. I think everything was pretty set. I honestly doubt, unless we gave him stacked stats, that he would win against the bunyip, realistically.
Yeah,
because
as much as he is
like
taken home.
maybe
in my
if he
heart.
fought Chupacabra, but bunyip was a complete...
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
about that one.
Chupacabra's pretty deadly.
Dude, but it's his frogman, dude. He's like pants.
This is true. This is true.
That's okay. Strong argument there, but I still think Chupacabra ekes out the win.
Yeah.
It's very close fight.
Yeah,
though.
I think we're pretty good on those.
Yeah.
And then
That
the
was a
next
solid
one?
one.
The next one was the most recent episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
The next one will be our most recent episode with the Ningen versus the Ami Kook.
Yeah.
Starting off with Ningen, 65 to 90 feet long.
Yeah, because he's big.
He is a big boy.
He eats
Human-
veggies.
Matt to argue that he's not, and you're like, he is.
What do you mean?
You argued when we first did the Ningen, you're like, I don't think so. And I was like, yes.
Well, yeah, he's got many forms.
Yeah.
Dude, I looked up pictures of the Ningen because I was trying to figure out that guy. He got like a little,
Every
like,
time,
he got like
bro.
a little ball and he's walking
Yeah.
with no arms. He's got like
You have just
Yeah.
two legs.
the argument
Yes,
could be
my
made
favorite
though
one.
that maybe it's the same creature and those legs are just his fins with feet on them because he only had like the two
But he has
major
arms,
fins.
so it would have to
And
be
he's
his
whale
arms.
sized.
No, well, wait, what?
He's whale sized.
Did you actually listen to
I
the latest
did
episode?
listen to the list episode. I listened to it on the way here.
Human-like hands and feet. Human facial features. No abilities. Stats. Intelligence 3. Power 7. Defense 4. Mobility 5. HP 9. And stealth 5.
And the power and the
You said
and
power
the,
7,
yeah,
and that's scale
and those
up.
are based on the scale ups with the sizes. I think defense is also similar in that boat, right? Or is it defense?
I've tried to argue that before, but Andrew
I
will
keep,
not
I
buy
keep
it.
That's-
saying that.
those are both
Because
the points,
overall,
though, 'cause-
overall defense should
Because it doesn't
stay
matter
the
how
same.
big you are. If you got like weak skin, dude,
Exactly.
Yeah.
like
Yes,
Defense
but
is
he
gonna
is
be low.
titan
Exactly.
sized.
yeah, and so
Size
you're just a
doesn't change
bigger,
defense.
but you're also just a bigger target with that weak skin, right? Then again,
Yes, but
the
it's
argument could be made that it's harder to reach your vital parts because they're deeper in the skin, but they're bigger. So you got to scale that too, you know?
I'm
I'm
saying
done with
everything
this argument.
scales, defense still
I'm
stays
not
the
going to
same.
try and
I've
argue
tabled
this.
this argument.
Yeah.
But whales
We-
do
we-
have that thick layer of blubber, though.
That's something we. That's
We
something we
did bring
contribute.
that up.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think this one's pretty good, honestly. That low defense is just because it doesn't have like armor or whatever.
Nope.
Intelligence 3 because
It
it
has
didn't have any
nothing to protect
precedence.
it.
I think it's good. I think it's
Right.
pretty good.
Sounds good. Let's move on to the Ami Kook.
Yeah.
We got characteristics 12 to 15 feet long, leathery skin, powerful claws / pinchers. Abilities fast earth digging, semi ethereal. Stats intelligence 5, power 10, defense 5, mobility 10, HP 7, stealth 4.
Now this was the first 2 10s that we had ever
Yeah.
put on a cryptid.
And that was power and mobility. I agree with both of those. The only one I don't agree with is the inclusion of that ethereal ability. I don't know. I don't think it jives with the rest of the cryptids, right? Because like you kind of went into a similar realm with the Wendigo, right? Where he has like kind of like weather control and other manipulation, but those are like, I don't know. I feel like it's different because I feel like there's not enough about this guy to where he goes ghost mode. And I feel like the argument you guys made where it's probably just him with the environment going through it that makes him almost ethereal. And even then, what would he use it for?
I
You
fought
know.
against the ethereal form, so I didn't
don't-
go.
This guy kept fighting for it.
I said the only thing was that he goes up into people and kills them.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
that
really
could.
only
But then
argument for that.
again, you
But
guys had mentioned they were all old, so they probably just had a heart attack.
we didn't even factor it in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's
I
so
honestly feel
negligible.
like that inclusion not only doesn't jive with the rest of the cryptid fights that you have, but it also plays no part, and there's really not a reason to have it because there's not enough in the lore for like ethereal. Like if you were like at a ghost, yeah, it's a core part of their identity. But this one's more like the speed, the terrain movement, you know, like the humanoid form with the walking, even though it didn't play out in the fight, is still a pretty big part about who it is. I don't know. I feel like this core part just doesn't jive.
And I mean, I don't really see how it could give him any kind of advantage
And
in the
it
fight,
didn't,
really.
right? Because I think the main reason was that he maneuvered around and then like used his burrowing ability to do
that was
damage
the
to
big
the
thing.
fleshy bits. And I feel like that's much more about who the Amikook is versus the ethereal part.
Yeah.
From what I heard.
So you're
about
saying
your
we should just
description.
take it off and
I feel like
Shouldn't even be on the
realistically, I feel
character
like I feel like it just doesn't jive. Like if you had a lot of other supernatural presence besides like the Wendigo, then maybe you can make the argument.
I mean,
that,
the supernatural thing's kind of just an ass pull when
Yeah.
I want to use it to win.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah, because
in the episode, I'm pretty sure you used that argument. For
Oh, yeah,
something.
because I feel
Yeah, I
like
did.
when it comes to cryptids, a lot of the reason people get into it so much is because of just how believable some of them are. Like
It's got a
Bigfoot's-
realism factor.
Bigfoot's
to
got
it.
that realism factor, you know, because he's like almost man, almost ape. He's like the in between. Maybe that's where we came from, and some people just didn't evolve. You know, maybe that's
He's
where I
the
think
missing
a lot.
link.
I feel like
And then
a
we've
lot of
got the missing whale with arms.
yeah. I feel like a lot of that is like that realism factor, and that ethereal nature goes almost into the ghost realm. And you guys have said explicitly you didn't want to talk about ghosts on here because
Yeah,
it didn't
no.
fit with the rest of it. So
Doesn't fit, and it's just such an open-ended
It is,
thing.
yeah.
There's so many.
There's
An infinite amount of factors when you talk about
Yeah.
And the
ghosts.
origins are all over the place.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
So-
and it goes back so far. It's just not.
Yeah, I feel like the main thing would be like establishing those precedents of what gets in, what doesn't get in, what do you talk about, what you don't talk about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're saying no Danny Phantom.
yeah,
Gotcha.
dude, I would Danny Phantom versus Mermaid Man, dude. Special episode.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, that wraps up stat changes, ability
An
changes,
hour in.
fight
Yep.
changes.
An hour
Yeah, I
in.
know.
Yeah.
This is a long
Now,
one.
now we get into
Now we
actual
can get into
fights.
fights.
Yep. Get
Pretty
your
much the main
Stromboli
event
audience.
of this whole thing. What are some what if fights we want to talk about?
Dude, Frogman versus
Everyone on the
Amikook.
Frogman. I'll cut this one short. I'll
Goodbye, Frogman.
Yeah,
Dude.
this ain't going in
Because I
Frogman's favor.
I don't know, man. Because we got like maybe
He's just gonna burrow through the magic wand.
I almost kind of want to see like the octopus versus Amikook.
Yeah, I mean they're
'Cause I
probably
feel like
two of
the-
our biggest
Because I
contenders.
feel like they're the bigger fighters, you know.
They're
Probably
definitely the bigger
strongest-
threats.
And
some of
especially with the
strongest
addition
ones.
of the jet stream ability, they do have some pretty equivalent mobility in the water. The jet stream's more of a dash as opposed to
Yeah.
a sprint, but I feel like if it can get into a good spot and wrap itself around it, I don't think there's much for the Amikook to do.
No, yeah, I think it.
Well, I think I brought this argument up, but the thing is, the Omnicook can actually go through anything when it comes down to it, and that's why we gave the Ningen, oh yeah, it's not going to win.
Yeah, because, I don't know, but the thing is, the suction cups have a lot of force. It would prevent the movement of what it does. Like,
It
if
depends on at what point it gets contact. Like if the Omnikook is already moving, and then it's like, oh shit, there's an octopus in the way.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know how much it's gonna do then.
Right.
But like, if it's like, oh, the Omnikook just notices him, then he grabs him.
Yeah.
It doesn't have time.
I
to...
feel like that also includes the element of like the almost camouflagey using its surroundings to sneak up on it and ambush attack it, and then it can really use its strengths, you know?
I think the two biggest factors that would come into the fight are reactionary speed
Yeah.
and stealth.
And the thing is, what's the Omnikook's intelligence rating that you guys gave it?
It's
I don't know. We just went over it, and I've already forgotten.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't think it was its 10. I think it was power mobility. I don't think it was very high, though, from what I remember.
It's not.
And
No,
the-
it's only a 5.
And the octopus was, right? So I think that critical thinking would play a pretty big role in fixing the gap in just sheer power that the Omnikook would have over the giant octopus.
I think it also comes down to tentacles versus tentacles. I
Yeah.
think that the octopus really wins out in strength.
Yeah, it
and
definitely has the
overall.
better tentacles for
You-
sure.
You limit if as long as like it gets its tentacles wrapped around Omnikooks, and then just it probably could rip them off, and then there goes like the whole fighting force of this one cryptid. So.
100%.
I mean, they both have pretty good win options. Omnicook is just going to drill. What the fuck are these people doing
I don't know.
at fucking 12 in the morning? Okay. But it really, like, the Omnicook just needs that one good hit going
Yep.
through. Octopus just needs that one good grab.
Yep.
So, what I think it comes down to when we pick a winner for this fight is what other scenarios are they going to be able to win here?
Aside from just,
Or how much of a landslide victory would their fights be?
I don't think either's a landslide. Personally, this could just be bias, but I feel like the octopus, with that intelligence, with the using of its surroundings, I feel like it wins just a little bit more than Omikook, right? It's got like that raw power, but it only does like it would only do like its main frontal attack, and the octopus does have the dash to get out of the way of that attack. So I don't know. I feel like personally the octopus wins out a little bit more, but the argument could be made that it's so evenly matched it could just be a draw, right?
Yeah, we don't really do draws here.
No. I don't know. See, I like the octopus argument, but a big thing for the octopus is going to be getting a hold of
Exactly.
the Omni Cook,
So that would be
which
the
is
thing,
is
though.
the problem. It would have to rely on its stealth, which let me double check its stealth because I'm not too sure. A 5 actually,
The
so it's
octopus
going to
was
be
a
hard
five,
to
because
hide
you guys
to get
didn't
the advantage.
you didn't do the camouflage.
That
You
was
just-
the one that was like,
you just
only
used-
some out.
You just use the surrounding, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
Also, it doesn't care about not being seen. It's another one that
Yeah.
like stealth is like, oh, how much is it? Like, oh, care about like
Like
if
the
you
Chupacabra
notice
with
it
its
and all that
10,
stuff.
where
Yeah.
it never got seen at all. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely get that.
I think the hardest factor is how many times is this thing going to be able to catch the Omni Cook?
That's a very valid point.
And
too.
the Omnicook has 10 power, 10 mobility.
That
So
is
this thing's going up,
true.
you know.
It
And
would
if it's-
definitely be every time the octopus wins, it's sneak attacks or other like close misses for the dash attack, right?
Yep.
Because the argument could also be made that if the octopus doesn't get a good enough grip, it could, in theory, break 3 with its ability to burrow through that fleshy material, like you guys established with the Ningen episode. That also puts it back in Omikook. Honestly, I think a little bit more now that I'm thinking about
I'm
it.
fully with Omnicook on this one.
Realistically, like
I
I
think
was
realistically,
in
Omnicook-
Octopus Corner, but every time I think about it, now that I've thought about it burrowing through fleshy material with the Ningen fight, even if it grabbed it, it only has like a 50 shot of doing what it needs to do
Yeah.
to secure the win.
See, I tried to argue this point for Ningen, so when you said octopus versus Omnicook, I can't.
Yeah.
The Omni Cook, it just has
And
the
the Omnicook's
tens in
just
the
so
right
powerful.
place.
It's stacked. I think it's one of your most stacked that you have. Because
It's
even
definitely
Omnicook
the most stacked.
even on
Omnicook's-
land, right? Because it's more of like a watery
It is a
creature, but it
watery
can
creature.
burrow through land,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it still has a lot of the same advantages.
I'm just gonna say
on
it.
land.
It's scientifically you'd call it cracked.
Yeah. He's cracked at Fortnite, dude.
Omni
exactly.
Cook is fucking cracked.
Yeah.
It is definitely.
I feel like the octopus has a better shot than Ningen did. But I still don't think it.
Well,
You
it
don't
depends.
think so? You don't
It
even think
depends.
so?
I don't
Ningen
think-
has some pretty powerful.
It did,
tools
but
to
it was
its own.
more of like an endurance fighter than it was an attacker, right? And the Omnicook wins an endurance
with
fight
that.
every time because it's just so powerful. You know, like no matter how
That's true.
strong the shield is, if the spear is more powerful, you can't hide behind it.
Exactly.
The thing with the octopus was that it was just so powerful too.
Yeah,
But
but its
it's
power,
slow.
its
It's-
power
it
just
is
gets
slow,
beat out
yeah.
here. Yeah, its
Easily.
power and speed gets just washed.
And that's the scary thing about the Omni Cook. It has the ability to take out. It is so powerful. It can take out these opponents who are in the higher weight
Yep.
classes because of how deadly
Yeah,
it is.
exactly,
This thing is a killer. It has the killer instinct.
Can
No, I
we
think-
put this in front of pretty much anything and we give it the win here? Like I don't
I
think
feel like
there's any.
I don't think
there's any other.
I don't think
contenders
anything
that-
this season is a contender. I feel like they're going to
Well, that's what
maybe
this
that-
mashup is
Yeah,
for this
exactly.
season.
So that's why I don't think
How we put this thing is that it was an apex predator.
it was. Yeah,
It
you did
is
mention
the-
that
it
off the
is.
cup.
It
that
is.
was like
So this is the
main
one to kill.
This guy is our crown.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we can talk about some other fights,
Yeah.
but he's the crown champion.
Yeah, I feel like even if we go into like the battle royale section, Omnicook wins. He just zips around, killing
All right.
there.
Well, let's not
Things could
jump ahead
happen.
of ourselves.
Things
That
could
is true.
happen.
That is
There's
true.
there's someone that got ganged up on last time. So
Yeah. Mega Conda, dude, rip homie.
You know, shit happens when you're the biggest guy there.
yeah.
It's like
All right.
prison.
Okay, so is that how you got 300 pounds of pure muscle?
I slimmed down since prison. 'Cause
Oh, so you were like 500 pounds of your muscle. Okay.
No, it was 600. Come on.
Yep. Imagine 600 pounds Apex I could take on Omnicook.
The only
I
living
was the
being.
Omnicook.
Yeah.
So what are some other what ifs we want to talk about?
I don't know. You could do.
We got maybe what's another like because we got like the mermaid and the gator man are the two humanoids and that's probably why they were paired up this season. And then we got maybe considering the power maybe a gator man versus Bunyip.
No.
Now, what do you
I'm
think of that?
saying is Lizardman versus Frogman. These are two lizardmen.
Gatorman,
Pretty good.
Frogman.
Okay, it's
I don't know. It
gonna
don't
be
look-
the same
it
thing.
don't look good for
Frogman
Frogman.
got clapped again.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
but
Frogman.
This brings up an interesting aspect that we didn't talk about really at all. A land battle.
That's true.
Because these two
Frogman,
are good on land.
Yeah.
And, dare I say, Frogman's got the speed advantage,
He
too.
does. Those legs zipping around, all like Zenitsu style or whatever, dude. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. He's flying.
The hardest part for him, though, is his power. Which
And
is
the
practically
only-
null and
He
void.
also got to get through all the
That is true.
scales.
The only thing he has
the weakness was that
is the chest, but even then, he doesn't have like a weapon, like a sharp
He doesn't
weapon.
have
Yeah.
the sharp claws to get.
That is
That's what I was
true.
gonna say.
Is he
That
gonna-
is true.
Even if he poked him with the wand, that's not covering much
I
area.
mean, shoot, dude, fire magic, dude. Shoot magic missile.
Okay.
Then again,
Not
it's a,
fire
lizard, it's a
magic.
lizard man, so
Yeah,
Has
I don't know.
resistances.
There's not really any fight, I think, that Frogman wins.
He is
Maybe.
our Mothman of this season,
I mean,
except for
except-
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. He's got good stuff to his story.
Yeah.
he's got pants.
He's got
You can't
pants.
be mad at a
Dude,
cryptid
like
that
he
has
shows
pants,
up and
bro.
he's
I
like,
don't
"Wear
know
your
what
pants,
about
bro,"
yourself.
and he just wins. I mean, fashion battle, maybe.
Listen, this is just my Mothman, all right?
Yeah. You just want
Welcome to the club, buddy. I'm gonna get you a Frogman T-shirt.
Dude, I want a Frogman. Frogman merch? Question mark? Cryptid versus Cryptid merch? Maybe.
Don't jump the gun.
Push it.
We'll see how Patreon does in
Yeah.
the next few months.
Yeah, these guys
but
all
yeah,
have to fund themselves.
I do kind of want to see how maybe a Gatorman versus Bunyip fight would go, because I feel like Gatorman's power would be able to get through that thick, hefty fur to try and combat this,
The thing
creature.
with Gatorman is that he has that big target on his chest.
Yes,
right there.
but and then there's the tusk suit. The tusks. Did we establish that it was the one with the tusks for the Bunyip? But I think there was the thing where we can't count them out, but it didn't use them a lot. I think it preferred to crush, and I feel
Yeah,
like
no,
the
that
Gatorman's
was
power
the big
could
thing with
resist the
crush.
crush better than Frogman could.
I feel like with this thing now, it would know since it is still a predator. It would know, and it's in a swamp.
That
so
is a good
obviously
point,
it's
but I
gonna
feel like
go against
Gatorman
its-
would know that and protect it pretty heavily, right? And the Bunyip doesn't have the speed that the mermaid did to get past its defenses, or like the speed of the attack with the
What's
claw
the intelligence on
on Gatorman.
Gatorman was pretty low. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I think it was more Gator than Man. if you
6.
lean more into 6 is still okay.
They tied in intelligence.
Yeah.
So
So-
here's my thing: the weak spot for the Gatorman was a big factor
Yes.
in the fight
the
with the
mermaid,
mermaid,
yes.
because the mermaid had the intelligence to know, had the tools
Yes.
to take it to a disadvantage.
Exactly.
While the Bunyip does have the tusks, it's not its preferred fighting method.
It's
It's
also-
the crush. So the weak spot isn't going to be as vital for Gatorman going into this fight.
And even then, a tusk is easier to recognize. Gotta protect against the tusk. Get those two major things out of the way versus the fast flying claws of the mermaid to wear down that weak spot.
And again, are we saying this is also a land battle?
No, I think
No, this
I think
would be
this
a
one's
water
water
battle.
again. I think the land one was Gatorman versus Frogman, and
Yeah.
Frogman
Well,
still got
Bunyip
folded.
and Gatorman could also be a land.
It
battle.
could
It
be a
could,
land
but I
battle.
feel like it
this
wouldn't
one
change
would be
much.
more of a preferred water battle, though.
And it wouldn't change much because I think they'd still fight around the same way. Trying to get in, break their defenses. The thing
I
is,
think
though,
Gatorman wins this.
I think
I'm gonna
Gatorman
give it to
also
Gatorman.
wins this because like a good lock on with his snout or whatever
His jaws.
his jaws. Thank you.
That's-
His snout, bro. Look, his teeth, man. They would be able to, I think, break
He's
through
got
that.
alligator jaw strength.
He does, and especially if he goes he's not like a lion, so gators don't really go for choke points like the neck or whatever.
No.
But if he did get a nice vital spot like that, like a leg even or something, it would hinder its ability to fight back more so than anything besides the Bunyip going for the tusk or going for the weak spot. Yeah.
If it does go for the legs, I will give the Bunyip this. There are reports that it is still able to use pretty similar strength in crushing with just the legs. And with them being as long as they are, I could see it fending off the Gator
But
Man
even
from
then,
just going for one leg.
the gators in general, right? Are they is the crocodiles or gators that thrash around with their prey to weaken
That's
it?
gators.
That is gators. How much bigger is Bunyip than Gatorman in this preferred form that we have? This
Gatorman's
good.
7 foot. I don't know how big Bunyip
I think
is.
Bunyip
I'm
is
not sure
like a
about the
bigger
Bunyip.
dog-sized thing. I feel like he could do.
I think
I don't
they're
think it's
similar size.
crazy big.
Yeah, so I feel
I'm
like
pretty sure
it
it's
might
eight.
still, especially with its
I think it's
10
eight.
power
For
that
what?
it has.
For the Bunyip, I'm pretty sure.
For
it's
what
like
stat? Or do you just
No,
mean
just
No,
length?
for
Feet.
length.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe length it beats it out, but like just body size
Well, it's
in
also
general, I
counting-
think they're going to
what-
be
what
similar.
I'm counting for length is it's head to tail.
Yeah.
Just head to tail.
Yeah.
Then
so-
yeah, I'd say they're pretty fucking similar.
I feel like though, considering the Gatorman has 10 power, I feel like it could do
That
that.
pushes it over the edge, yeah.
That thrashing ability that gators do to weaken their prey would probably play a pretty major thing too. And since it's a gator, that is instinctually what it would try to do first. And I don't know if the bunyip has.
Well, they also do that because they go after land creatures.
That is
and
true.
so they can't breathe, and that's why they thrash around like that.
I will say the bunyip's going to have some pretty high defense to break through.
It does.
For the gator.
But I feel like Gatorman is the only one this season that would have the ability to do that. Because the mermaid's claws, I don't think are.
That's not true at all.
Except from the apex
The
predator.
apex, but I mean, like in terms of realistic fights, that would probably have a chance of Bunyip winning or Gatorman winning. I feel like this is a pretty equivalent matchup. You know, I feel like Gatorman wins more of these though, personally.
I'm also in the Gatorman camp.
I will say Gatorman kind of has the upper hand here now.
I think Gatorman's victories are more solid than the bunyip, but I could see the bunyip
That is
winning
true
a
because
few
if
more
the Bunyip
fights.
does get that core spot, that's like where all those vital organs are. So
Yeah.
one hit and Gatorman's pretty much out, right?
But I don't think the bunyip has the intelligence
That's
to
true.
realize that. I think I'll give it to Gatorman as well. I think his victories are more surefire to happen, but I do think the bunyip will win a few more times than Gatorman. But I'm more confident with Gatorman
I
taking
am
the
pretty
victory.
confident in Gatorman for sure.
Yeah.
If anything, it will end with another just Tony Stark.
Yeah, another dog man.
It would be that
Wendigo
he's stabbed
fighter.
in the chest, but Gatorman has the ability to grab the head,
Yep.
and snap the neck, and
Yep.
then he
That
dies.
is true as
He
well,
wins
yeah.
out.
Right.
What else do we have this season besides the special? But I don't know enough about the special to really do another like.
Yeah, we're not
major
talking about
versus
the
anything.
Special
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so I mean,
The only two we haven't really covered together that we haven't covered in alternate fights
Well,
are
Mermaid.
Mermaid and Ningen.
I feel like Ningen wins that though.
Well,
I
not
don't-
those two together, but
Yeah, but-
yeah, the
yeah.
Ningen
Yeah,
is
because
just
there's
way too
no
fucking
way
big for the
mermaid,
mermaid to
mermaid
stand a
with those
chance.
tiny.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no,
feel like
Ningen gets one good slap
yeah.
and then
the
Mermaid's
only
dead.
the only one
Mermaid's bones
the
are
only one
broken.
I see beating Ningen is Amikook
Amikook.
because it's just so
It's
powerful.
too big. Titan Class just gets in a league of its
None
own
of them,
power.
like, unless Octopus goes Ant-Man Thanos style and bursts out from inside of it, there's no way any of them are beating it. Because
Yeah.
it's like, what, 60 feet versus 20 feet, dude?
It's-
It's like
Yeah.
fighting a 9-foot tall dude.
65 to 90
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
huge. Like
It is.
the octopus's main fighting thing would be getting its things around it and using its strength,
Yeah,
and
it
it
doesn't.
can't wrap around.
Max
it, and
is
it's
like
so
36
huge.
feet.
Nessie just
She's just got no.
Oh, I
chance.
forgot about Nessie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nessie, yeah, I feel like
And Nessie really
Maybe
only,
Frogman.
Yeah, Nessie really only beats like Frogman.
because Mermaid could do enough chip damage with her claws to just.
I mean, Nessie just.
I think Nessie meets.
I think
I don't
I
know.
think Nessie can beat Mermaid.
That is true as well.
Here's
yeah.
my problem with Nessie. Nessie just doesn't really have the power
Yeah.
behind it to win a
Nessie
lot of
doesn't have
fights.
fighting like.
Yeah.
Doesn't have
I
that
was gonna
fighting
say-
Because
spirit.
they have like their jaw, right? That's it though. They don't really have
Yeah,
like
that's
claws.
pretty much it.
They just have their long neck with that, like.
And
And it's
even
not
then,
really known for fighting.
There's
anyway,
no
so-
reports of like sharp teeth or anything to really give it that.
Although if it is
boost.
carnivorous, it would have to have sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Aren't there reports of it being more carnivorous than?
No.
We don't know.
I mean, if you want to be realistic, just about every single report is confirmed hoax.
Yeah, Nessie is definitely one of the major hoax ones, and that's the one because it's the same thing with the Bigfoot argument, right? Like it's so big.
Oh,
I don't like
that.
you go with
that's
this.
not going to be happy about that. I'll just tell you that much.
No, but it's like so big that a lot of those reports, like you had mentioned, are just attention seekers, are just trying to get in on the fame and stuff,
Oh,
right? And that's I think the same argument realistically.
Yeah. I just think Nessie's not going to do well because it's not known for anything, even remotely.
If anything, it'd be an
fight-related.
omnivore.
Yeah, I was
think,
thinking
really.
omnivore as well because it's the same argument as sustainability. Like I don't know if there's enough meat.
There's just not enough
Yeah,
to
there's
keep it
not.
alive there.
Yeah.
I think that covers all what if
I
fights.
think there's the only other what ifs are how fast would Amikook clap the other. One
Even if
shot, maybe two on the
Omni
octopus.
Cook versus everybody, I think, is really the only fight it can't win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like not battle royale. That is just everybody against Omni Cook.
Because
Maybe it could have
you'd
won.
have to
Too many
have
people.
Ningen like tanking the damage and then everybody sneak attacking it at the same time.
Yeah, they need to get the sneak attack
Yeah.
crits.
They would have to roll 20s, dude. They
Are
have
we,
to.
are we rolling into?
Yes,
I
we
think
are.
what ifs are over. Yeah.
We've got the battle royale. We're rolling in.
We're rolling
Who's
in.
dropping in high loot zone versus who's getting crappy loot and dying first?
Yeah, who's getting the chests and who's getting
Well,
the common
first of
ARs?
all, I think they would all know just to go after Omni Cook.
I feel like they might not at
I
first,
think
but once
some aren't intelligent enough to know that, though.
I feel like even then though, no matter how stupid you are, if you see Omni Cook shred the first guy, you know.
Who's the first guy?
So it's not even who's the first guy.
After they see him shred
Omni
Frogman.
Cook's first target?
Yeah.
Frog.
Dude, no, Frogman's that guy that
Well,
rolls
does
up.
he want to leave?
I'm dropping
Frogman?
this on you. With his 10, he could get to land and get away fast enough to avoid Omni Cook for a while.
I feel like Frogman's the guy that rolls up to you and he knows you got better gear, so he starts dancing and hopes you take pity on him.
He just casts a little bit of magic
Yep.
to hope to distract
It's
you.
like,
He's bush stratting it.
yep.
Yes,
I feel
right.
like
Bush striding on
Also
land.
thinking about it, I think Omni Cook would go for Ningen first, just because it's a bigger one.
yes, I
Yes.
feel like he would
He
recognize
knows that it's the
Ningen.
next strongest
Yes,
after him.
Ningen is
physically.
definitely the next strongest, and then he would try and take him out first. And I think, honestly, it would distract him for at least long enough for the other guys to not only recognize him as a threat, but maybe even the dumber ones start fighting each other. You know?
I think a good amount of these guys, the smarter ones at least, are going to go a stealth approach into this, especially after seeing Omni Cook
Especially
and
like-
try and hide.
Especially, yeah.
I think-
Especially the mermaid.
Yeah.
I think
Especially
right out the
when
gate,
they-
we know Omni Cook's going for Ningen.
Yeah.
Everyone else sees that. They're like, oh shit, he just went after the biggest guy.
Yep.
And so then
And
they're
no
like, all right,
fear,
time to
no
back
fear
off.
going after the biggest guy, right?
Yeah.
Again, prison
Yep.
rules. Dude, take out the biggest dude, you assert dominance. Dude.
Exactly.
I think mermaid definitely hides away.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably to go
100%.
devise a
just-
strategy,
probably just
get some
deep
kind of
down.
weapon,
Yeah.
but definitely disappears right away.
100%.
Frogman, you know he's hiding, waiting for the opportunity to strike.
Yep. Because,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, this thing is distracted. Peace.
I think
I'm going to land.
I think, but even then, Omni Cook's gonna hunt him down, right? Once he's got you marked,
Yeah,
you're
no.
screwed.
But he's distracted.
He's
so this is
distracted by Ningen. so
I feel like,
he'll
yeah, if Frogman hides on land, he's getting second, just by default.
would Gatorman go for land too? He
mean-
obviously figures he's outclassed.
But I
Against
think
Omni Cook.
Gatorman, being that predator, might go after the smaller fries to start.
I'm with you on the
secure-
fact. I think Gatorman's a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
from what we
I don't know.
know.
I think Gatorman.
Maybe
because
Gatorman
think
goes
about
after
gators, They
Frogman.
go after the prey. They think about it first, and they just wait there for their prey before they go and.
But this isn't a situation where he can just like float on the top of the water.
Yeah.
This is like shit,
yeah, but
life
you
or
would
death.
obviously see Ningen and Omni Cook going down and be like, "No, that's not mine."
Yep.
And he'd probably see
That's true.
Frogman.
That's
go
But I
up,
feel like he
"Yeah,
does.
I'm out
I
here."
feel like he does target Mermaid. He targets Frogman. He goes after those easier, prey. Not so much for a long-term strat, because remember he's not as
Maybe
intelligent as Mermaid. But he's just going after those primal instincts, trying to, be like the guy who goes for kills instead of the win. He's that guy, right? I feel like
Maybe
that's
he's
Gatorman.
looking for a snack. He's
Okay.
like, I'm a little hungry.
I wanted to hopefully have Mermaid last a little longer, but I'm going to throw this out. Mermaid, stealth of 5. Frogman, stealth of 8.
Yeah, see? That's the thing. I feel like Frogman's also so small and so insignificant that everyone just counts him out.
And
They just think he's a
and
wild
so pants
critter.
clothes.
So pants almost. Dude,
Then
he-
everyone's just like,
Yep.
oh shit.
I feel
where
like
did it-
I
what?
feel like if he
Who was
drops into water, he's like, "Oh no, my fit," and he gets out of the water to dry off his
My
clothes.
drip
that?
is
He uses the
wet.
sparks to dry it off.
Exactly.
I get it, yes.
Yep.
The entire time he's just in a tree with his wand, drying his pants.
Yes.
God damn it,
Yes.
Not again.
Who else do we have? I think the only one we haven't really talked about are Nessie and the octopus. I feel like those have really been kind of counted out of discussion.
Yeah, at the moment.
I think Nessie has no. He can't
can't
escape
win.
to land.
No.
So I think honestly, Nessie's next.
Nessie's
after,
next.
After.
I think, after
I-
Ningen,
it's
Omni
either-
Cook's going for
it's
Nessie.
either
When
octopus
we
or
talk
Nessie.
about the whole stage of it, I don't even think it would have the holes to go into.
Yeah,
so
no
it
toes.
would-
Oh, no.
It's
Overall,
so
I think
it
we're
would
in agreement. This is literally just like
It's-
an ocean.
That's what we get.
This
for
is like an
itself.
ocean water with land.
Yeah,
to
maybe
the
like
side.
maybe like a cove, not a cove. What's the word?
A coast. You're
No,
looking for like a
what's-
peninsula.
a peninsula, yeah, where it's like one entrance and the rest is like a circle of land almost. I feel like that would be like
It's a very
an
large.
arena.
It's a very, very large.
it would be large,
peninsula.
100%. Because you got Ningen in there.
That takes all basically Nessie's stealth and just throws it out.
throw it
Yeah.
out the window.
Pretty much.
Nessie would be
Because it's not like humans looking for surface; it's other water creatures, and especially the octopus has really good vision, so it would see it 100%.
because and it would be Omnicook versus Ningen, which
Yeah.
we already discussed.
Ningen gets folded.
Omnicook's winning.
Yeah.
So then it would see
I think
Nessie and
With
be
pretty
like,
much no
Yeah,
damage too.
it would see Nessie. It would be like, all right, a little bit smaller. We're going after
Yeah.
you.
I feel like though the argument can make because what would the octopus be doing, right? Because octopi, like
I
I've
think-
established, would be on the bottom area, kind of chilling. Would anybody go after it
I'm
besides?
thinking,
Omnicook
I'm thinking
killing
mermaid
it?
tries to escape by
Yes.
going deep down under.
Yes.
We've already established that.
Yep.
It's fine. Octopus is already down there,
Yes.
lying in wait.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What happens?
Yes.
Mermaid gets ripped in half.
I feel like that's a very, very good argument. Yeah, because like
I think that I
'Cause
don't think
it
it would be
does-
already waiting because how I see it is that they're all at the center
Oh,
stage
so we're
right
doing.
there.
We just spawn them all from
Yeah.
the air.
Spawn
I
and
feel
then
like
they
even
just
then
drop
though,
in.
octopus's first thing is he doesn't
Starts
he
sinking.
doesn't swim, right? Because we established that he
Inks
mainly
around him.
crawls.
Starts.
Yes,
dropping.
yes, and then
Yep.
he like lies in like the bushes
and that's
area.
when the
and then
He
mermaid
bush
jump.
strats it.
Yep.
Mermaid
He
comes.
bush straps.
Mermaid rolls up with a double pump.
Yep.
And then he like.
Oh yeah. No,
Anyway,
no. They
mermaid.
roll up with like a rifle, and he's double pumping in weight in the building.
Yeah, no. Anyway, mermaid down
Yeah.
at the bottom, octopus
Yeah.
ready to strike.
Dude,
Yeah.
Goodbye,
Mermaid stands no chance
Mermaid
against
stands
the
no
octopus.
chance, and I feel like that's exactly how it would play out. Because she would see, oh, that's like the area I could probably hide in all the like
Yep.
grassy areas, and that's octopus's like first.
And if it
instinct.
does inked,
'Cause
it's
they're
going to be a
both-
little darker too, so maybe it
The
thinks
octop-
darkness to my
Yep,
advantage.
exactly. So octopus and mermaid
Really
are the two
darkness to your
smartest
fuck.
competitors, right? So they would both see the two best areas to go hide in,
Yep.
and octopus wins that fight 10 out of 10 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's
Yeah.
realistically no situation
So I
where
feel
mermaid
like,
wins
honestly,
that
I
fight.
feel like Ningen lasts long enough against Omnicook for Mermaid to get folded by the octopus to be the first loser. I feel like.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, I think Ningen has the endurance to survive.
Because the
long
HP
enough.
was his like one of his better stats.
Oh, yeah.
Besides defense, because like he's getting shredded through by the Omnicook, but he's got that mass, he's got that sustainability that you
Yep.
talked about when you introduced him. That I feel like he'd last longer.
much longer.
Okay, we do have to talk about the Bunyip. What's he doing this whole time?
That is, I forgot
Honestly,
about
I
him.
forgot about the Bunyip.
I know everyone did.
I'm just trying. I'm so
Maybe-
tired. I'm trying to keep up with all of them. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, who have we not talked
I
about
think
yet?
Bunyip's still getting clapped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, easily.
Either by I think it's
Honestly, I think to think about it clearly, it's Omnicook deals with the Ningen and then goes through Nessie. Look like just straight goes
Yeah,
through
just-
Nessie.
just
and
straight
then-
through Nessie, then
and then
right at
Honestly, he probably
right
didn't even
at
mean to
Bunyip.
hit Nessie. Nessie was just there in the way. He's like, oh shit. Cool.
I feel like, honestly, I feel like Nessie, as ironic as it sounds, is the most underwhelming person in this entire season. And even he's the most famous one. Cause,
Yeah.
Because Frogman sucks, but he's awesome.
He's the fucking
Yes,
underdog.
He is.
Okay. Anyway, Omnicook drills right through Nessie.
Yes.
On his way to Bunyip because Bunyip's trying to do some crazy shit.
Because he does have the roar, right? But it's not going to work on anybody.
No.
No, yeah.
If it'd work on the mermaid, but
And there's
It's
mermaids,
already clapped.
mermaid's back to human half and fish half.
Yeah.
Best of both
Yeah.
worlds.
Exactly.
And then it does also have like the wave, like in like water level control, but they're all already water. So
Yeah.
Bunyip's entire kit just sucks.
yeah.
No, he definitely didn't prepare a good
Although
kit
maybe
for a free
because we
throw.
did talk about Gatorman going on the offensive though. Maybe he's targeting Bunyip and or
I
Nessie.
think we can rethink that one. I think Gatorman
No.
just kind of got out of
I
dodge.
still think that's where I'm going with it. I still think he's going for mermaid.
Yep.
She's mermaid. Get fucked
That's
up.
true.
He's like
That's true.
He's
'Cause no matter how
out of
smart
dodge.
or
That's
not-
it.
Oh wait, there was a frogman that went up there,
Yeah.
so we're going up there.
yeah,
Hold on. You're saying like even noticed Frogman.
Yeah,
so-
Frogman is so stealthy.
Listen. Okay.
Because his
Here's
stuff
how it's played out so
the
far.
size differences.
Here's how it played out so far. Omnicook's folded the Ningen. He's like, oh shit, that was crazy. A big guy going after a big guy, not gonna deal with that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, mermaid. I could probably. Oh shit, gets clapped.
Yep.
Listen, water's not my
It's
deal
mermaid.
right
See-
now.
see-
I'm probably not safe. Starts going up on
These
land.
guys are
This
fucking
is-
crazy.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
change
out.
a little bit here. He would probably only see mermaids like
The two halves. Okay, the two halves of mermaid float up. He's like, down there seems like a danger zone.
He's like,
listen, honestly.
Snack for the road. Goodbye.
Yeah, honestly, land seems like my
Although-
best option. gets up on land.
Maybe.
Then by that time, Bunyip's already clapped. Ami Cook's looking for the next meal. Gator Man's not looking too
The
good.
other way I see this playing out is he does chase Mermaid close enough to the octopus to also get killed by the octopus. Realistically, I think it's the only other way
He
that plays
also
out.
has a
besides
power
your
of
way.
10. I don't know if the octopus would be able to.
But the octopus, the size difference in relation to the power, the suction
I
cups
think
are
Octopus easily wins this.
not so much easily, but it wins. Right? I feel like if the
It
Gator
comes
Man
down
does-
to the
yeah.
one
Even if he
tentacle
does
wrestler
constrict
there.
it, I still think Gatorman has the reach with its jaws to still get in a good hit or two on
I don't
the
think
octopus,
he,
but I don't think he wins
I don't
that
think
fight.
he's Levi cutting out of the hand out of this one.
No,
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Dude, I got
Let's
lost
not
on
start
that.
this.
Yes.
Shush. Shush.
I believe.
Yes.
Do not get him started, please.
Dude, you're on the Skyrim
Back
train.
to the
Everyone
fight.
is Attack on
Back to
Titan
the
stuff,
fight.
so-
Anyway, back to the
Yes,
fight.
that's
Back to
very
the
true.
fight.
That's very true.
So, what are we going with? Gatorman fights or Gatorman runs?
I think Gator Man runs.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I think
Gator
Gator
Man
Man
runs.
wins.
Gatorman runs.
Gatorman
and then
runs.
gets
He's on.
clapped by Army Cook.
I think Ami Cook's already had 3 delectable
And then I
dishes
think
that
he
he's
takes
torn right
Octopus.
through.
I
Army
think
Cook's
he
already
takes
went through the
Octopus.
triple kill. He's like, oh, quad kill? No, don't
Yeah,
want to
yo, I want the quad
Get
feed
that kill feed,
because
yeah.
Mermaid did die first, so it's like, oh, time for the quad feed.
Yep.
Decides to take out Lizard Man.
Yeah.
Lizard Man, I'll say, puts up probably a better fight than any of our previous
I don't
3
know, though.
contenders.
I think the mobility alone...
He at least claws something. He at least claws something.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like he gets run
He
through
get-
I
life,
think
He gets run
maybe
through.
he gets
run
he gets a desperate claw or a desperate bite.
but
he's
Ami
not
Cook
winning.
is just so strong.
He's not. There's no. It's not like. It's not like a. Oh hey, this affected you.
Yeah.
It's like a. Oh hey, passing.
Yeah.
I accidentally clawed you as my arm was getting shredded
The
off.
question is, though, does Ami Cook go after Octopus or Gator Man first?
Gator Man for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's
Gator
like
Man's
he's like
already
easy
in a
claps
line
out
of
of the
sight.
way.
I think Gatorman's such an
Octopus,
easy
he didn't
target.
even see because he was paying attention to Nathan.
It's too dark down there. Yeah,
That's
you
true.
can't tell right now.
Because we got to scale up the amount of ink. It probably takes up a good quarter
Yeah,
for ink
yeah.
alone.
Yeah. No.
So Gatorman, he's out.
Yeah,
We
he's
have
out.
3 competitors left.
Yeah.
I think now Octopus becomes relevant. I think it's Ami Cook's like, where's my next target?
Yep.
Big boy down at the bottom's making a little commotion.
I feel like he goes after Octopus too. And in our discussions, Octopus maybe with the ink is able to maybe get a sneak attack
I
in,
think that gets the
considering
sneak
the
attack.
ambush.
I think there's enough damage done to him during the octopus fight that's going to ensue.
that Frogman has a
That
chance.
Ami Cook is looking a little worn down, my man.
Omni
He's gone
Cook
through-
or Octopus.
Yeah, I feel like
I think Ami Cook.
I feel like
he hasn't really had a challenge until now.
So the thing is, Octopus, with the present circumstances, with the ink on the bottom, with Ami Cook already expending a lot of his, like
Stamina.
Yeah, I feel like Octopus has the best chance at winning here. But I don't know how many circumstances, aside from getting the ambush off on him, that he wins. Really.
That's his best advantage is the sneak
And
attack.
the
I
ink
think-
and the
I think-
hiding creates it. But
I think our argument here is that Ami Cook barely ekes out the win.
Yep.
Octopus barely ekes out the win.
Yep.
These
One
guys
way.
are looking damaged.
Yep.
But we
They're
have
looking
to
bad.
pick a solid victor before we move on.
I say more cases Ami Cook.
I also say more cases.
I say, considering we already had the
I'd say-
discussion earlier, more cases on Ami Cook, even with the ink already set in place,
Yeah, he's
lying in
already
ambush.
damaged.
Yeah.
He's already out.
Yeah.
But he's still.
I still feel like Ami Cook is too good.
He's
The
just-
argument could be made, but one of these fools is winning, and Frogman's getting second place by default.
Whoa. Here's my
No,
argument.
yeah, by default, he's getting second place.
Here's my argument. Ami Cook is looking real bad after this fight, dude.
I imagine
He-
most of
he
his
Tony
tentacles
Stark-
done.
He
Yep.
basically Tony Stark this thing.
Yep.
All of his tentacles done. But that last hit was enough to just barely get the octopus dead.
Yep.
Floats up to the top. He's looking worn. He's done. He's like, I've won this battle. Frogman comes up, fucking sparks his ass, lights him on fire somehow.
He's in water. Whoa.
Just starts fucking dancing on him.
Hold on, though, because do we play this like Ningen is more whale-like? Because whale blubber is flammable, and if he's chilling inside Ningen, railing him out, he might have some of that residual flammable. But the
But he's
spark
already in
might
water. He's
work.
already been going so fast that it would go off of him already.
I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe he
Either
ate
way,
some of it.
either way, I'm saying
I still
Frogman
think
is dancing on this thing's dead body. Frogman gets the
Frogman's
fucking
got
win.
enough power here to take it out, I think.
Yeah.
This thing is so exhausted, so fucking worn, especially from the last fight.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Frogman, this is his best shot.
Frogman
It is.
won by stealth default.
Frogman won
He's
by being
the-
a pussy and being like,
Dude, Bush,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter
man,
how
that's
you
what
got
I'm
it, dude. You got the screenshot of the victory royale.
And you know his drip was fresh when he did it,
My
too.
God, those pants were looking fire.
Yep. So fire, he caught the Ami Cook on fire.
no.
No.
I'm distancing myself from that last phrase about him being on fire. Anyway.
Yeah, no, he was
Anyway, I think our overall victor, Frogman, we got the winner.
Yeah.
Victory Royale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even the argument can be made. If Octopus takes out all the tentacles on Ami Cook, what does he have?
Nothing.
Exactly.
What does he have?
That's what gives Frogman the
If,
winner.
considering that this is the closest fight Ami Cook will ever have in his entire career, I think, honestly, Frogman wins the endurance fight just by not doing anything.
Yep.
Because he might, Ami Cook
He
with no
bush-tried
tentacles,
the
he might
entire
bleed
time.
out. And he can't really move because he got no tentacles, so he's just
Yeah.
screwed.
He will die by default.
Yeah. So,
There's
I
no
mean,
way he can get any kind of food or
Frogman
anything. And
does
Frogman
good
just
looking-
fucking got the pickings now. He's eating the
Frogman
leftovers.
bush strided and then two pumped that guy that
That's
had the
what I'm
scar.
saying.
Like,
Not even then. He won by the zone, dude. He zone one, dude. That's what
damn,
he did.
bro. Damn, that's crazy. There were too many Fortnite references in this episode. I hope Steve edited some of these out.
Dude, I don't know.
No.
I think I brought in way too many of these Fortnite references. dude.
Listen, when
It's
you
been
bring
great,
in
though.
a victory royale, you can't.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
I'm just going to say the highlight of this entire season has been Frogman
Yes.
taking the biggest dub.
I know. Yep. This might have been like a not so great season with the aquatic theme, but Frogman taking the dub against Apex Predators and
Frogman
Mermaids.
becoming the new apex predator.
Yeah, dude.
By default,
That's
he has
what I'm
become
saying,
the
dude.
apex.
Ain't nobody
Because
else.
literally every other Apex died.
Yep.
He is the Apex.
I don't know. I like the way this turned out. Really,
I
think
I
this
fucking
is,
love
I
it.
think
This
this
is
is
great.
the most
This is great.
realistic way this plays out. Yeah.
I think it is.
All right.
And with that, Frogman is the second cryptid to take a victory royale.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Hall of True Champions.
True champions.
This is the
With the Wendigo,
true
correct?
I
Yeah,
think
You know
was the
Wendigo
one, yeah.
and Frogman
Dude,
are drinking
two-
some cold
yeah.
ones.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
And then Wendigo kills Frog.
No, he
Whoa, whoa,
listens
whoa!
to
This is like Valhalla.
He got
it's
the-
all heroes
Yeah.
here.
He got the drip, dude. He respects it.
Yes.
I imagine he does respect the drip. Frogman was looking fine when he took his victory.
All right.
And at the end of it all, fashion is what's most
Yep.
important.
exactly.
Because at the
Respect
end of
the
the day, when the match is over,
It's
the
whoever
drip
has the
is the
biggest
best.
friend.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, dude. In real life, too. Really.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
After you've slaughtered
Millions.
a bunch of other people and you're the only one left.
Yep. You gotta be
Yeah.
looking clean.
And that brings the aquatic season to an end.
Let's go!
I think
All
that's
right.
my man.
Well, we're probably coming up to the end of the episode here.
Oh, we are.
Towards the end.
Before we end it, Tristan, let's talk believability real quick.
Okay.
Just-
Only Frogman, just because of the drip. No. I don't believe in any of them. Honestly, I feel
he
like
pulls the Andrew train here. Andrew card flip.
I don't know. I feel like, Nessie's the most well known, but it's so hoaxy that I just cannot
It's just full of
believe.
hoaxes.
I cannot believe Nessie. Nemi Cook, I mean, it's so new. You guys did bring up the Japanese government cover-up conspiracy. That's what I said, right?
No, you said
You
Omni
combine them both into Nimmy Cook.
Really? Well, yes, the Nengen. Ami Cook is just so far out there, but he's so fun to talk about, you know? Frogman is the same exact boat. I feel like that sales guy was tripping so bad that...
He was like sleep deprived or
Exactly,
something real
dude.
bad.
And then mermaids, I want to believe just because they're super hot, but I doubt it too.
Also super dangerous, so I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
watch out if you're on that boat. all
I
right?
mean, they are the best of both worlds, but
Yeah,
you know.
dude. But I don't know. I feel like honestly, none of them are believable. Really, I feel like the aquatic ones, even if they were real, we have explored so little of the ocean. And I feel like that's the main reason so many aquatic ones get the credence is because of how little we explored of the ocean.
And I mean, that really only applies to the ocean aquatic
Yeah.
creatures. Like
Ryan-
Nessie is just
Throwing in any of the previous 8, you got any believability on those ones?
Like the other ones, like the terrestrial ones, not even.
Bigfoot, Mothman, Wendigo, all those guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I'm not a big cryptid guy. Yeah, you're
That's
right.
not even a
You're
funny
right.
fucking
Mothman
joke.
is the most believable.
Let's go.
You're mad because Frogman took the dub.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
I'm
you have
not
to bring
even mad
Mothman back
because
into
Wendigo
it.
took the first dub.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I believe in cryptids at all, really, but I think it's fun to discuss them. And even if you don't believe in it, I feel like this podcast is like it's like Death Battle, but with different things. So I
Except
feel
for
like,
we do the research.
yeah.
And then don't come out with false wins.
We're not
That's
going to
true,
go into
yeah.
that on this.
But it's the same kind of thing, right? You can show this to anybody, and especially like the last couple ones. I wouldn't really start off with the aquatic season if you're
No.
trying to get new people into it, but last two, like that
First
Goatman
episode.
episode, probably Bigfoot episode, those are both pretty good ones. I like those, and they're just fun.
Didn't expect the praise at the end there, but I'll dig it.
Anyway,
Gotta end with
continuing-
praise. I
continuing
want to
our
come
train of
back,
praise.
and I ain't trying to make you cry. So.
Continuing our train of praise.
Smart man.
I will say that if you leave a 5-star review, I have already given the cheat code of that. But anyway, 5 stars. I have to read aloud on the podcast. Our
Dude, is that
email
true?
is cryptid@gmail.com. That is
Fuck. CRYPTID VS CRYPTID@gmail.com.
Dude, if that's all it takes to get a shout out on the podcast, bro, I'm leaving like 10 5-star reviews and making Andrew say some wacko stuff just because.
I have to say it on the podcast.
That's the secret, honestly.
Anything else? We didn't plug it halfway through, but Patreon.
Yeah, dude.
Patreon.
We got a
Yeah,
Patreon
those-
member here with us.
Yeah, we do. It's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff on there. I have to listen to the After Hours one, but they sound fun, especially the most recent After Hours that's published. Dude,
Yeah,
that
if
sounds
only
like
we didn't accidentally record it with the wrong microphone.
But that's
Yeah.
irrelevant. The content is there.
It
That's,
is.
Yeah. That's probably. That's. Oh, man. That was such a good
And
After
if
Hours.
you do Patreon, you'll see me in the After Hours one too, because I think we're going to record that here in a second.
Yes.
If everybody's up for it, Roger might have to dip. That's
He's
up to
about
him.
to
We'll see.
dip.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Thing, we'll see. Yeah.
So we'll speed it along. Patreon, we got After Hours, where we talk whatever the fuck we want to talk
Yeah.
about. It's more chill. New episode is coming out very soon,
We also have
where
the
we
Hulk.
debate aliens and ghosts,
Yeah.
We also have the D&D on there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that.
caverns and cryptids.
Yeah.
That is
Caverns and
with
Cryptids.
a big crew, the biggest crew we've ever done for any kind of podcast related thing. 5 different people. No, 6. The 3 of us, and then
Well, you're the DMs.
yeah, but I'm still there.
Yeah, no, it's
Then we got Julian, Laney, and Devrin. So if you like our guests, come give it a listen.
Yeah.
There
We
will be
also
more
have-
episodes coming out
We
soon.
also have holiday episodes. We only have one out right now, but more of those will come in the future.
Discord.
We also have the Discord link.
I'm gonna fix it. I got it up, but I didn't do it the right way, so the link is expired. But I swear to God, it'll be back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tristan explained it how it works,
Yeah.
so I will fix it. And then there is more to come.
Yeah.
A lot more to
We're
come.
hoping to add some behind the scenes stuff, maybe a little bit later. So
Behind the scenes, we're gonna start talking. We're gonna start a movie series where we discuss movies and such like that. But yeah, all that is on our Patreon at Cryptid versus Cryptid on Patreon. Not gonna spell it out because we already did it once.
yeah.
I think it's also
We
probably
also have
linked
a
in the
Twitter.
description.
What
too.
is that, Andrew? How's
It will
spelled?
be.
CRYPTIDVS. That's our Twitter account. It's not very active right now because
Not at all. I keep getting notifications from Spanish people on Twitter. It's very annoying, but I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And then a Reddit soon to come.
Yes.
But besides that, is there any other closing things we want to throw in?
Not really. No, you guys. I just exist.
Oh, this is a fact.
You have existed for this whole episode, and as soon as it's over, goodbye, Tristan.
Dude, I know, right?
Until the next episode that we need him.
Yes.
All right, this has been the Cryptid versus Cryptid boys, as some people have called us, getting ready to hop into our next interesting seasons of fights, featuring the Skinwalker,
The Jersey Devil.
You guys didn't give me anything. The Dover Demon, sorry.
Yeah.
We also got Thunderbird, and if you love Bigfoot, we got more Bigfoot-esque creatures coming. So get ready. It's going to be an action-packed, fun season, filled with guests as well,
Yes.
down the line.
All right.
But that's been this, and that's been that. I'm Matt. Peace out.
See ya.
Later.